minutes. All right. Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Yo! Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It's like a party in here for those like 30 seconds that theme song's. I guess that theme song is exactly 46 seconds. But when I can see all of our screens at that one little point, it's always great. Hey, welcome to Grapsody. It is Saturday, April 9th, is it? Yes, It is April 9th.
Yep. That's the one.
Yep. And I'm Will Washington. Not alone here. I'm also joined by Mr. Double R Righteous Reg.
In the fucking building, it's your boy, Media fucking Man. Your favorite writer. Your favorite writer, rapper, podcaster in the building. It's Saturday morning. My people, what's good with y'all?
Come on, man. We gotta get that clip from my man yelling at the sky, yelling Media Man as your drop. Like
Word.
Also here is Mr. Phil Lindsey.
I'm in the building. First things first, I was about to say rest in peace. Not sad news. I mean, sad news to my man that passed away. That is sad news.
Dwayne Haskins, yeah.
Just read about that, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, crazy.
Yeah, before we get rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. Very sad news. But also, happy birthday to our current Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Bel-Air.
Oh, let's go. Yes, after having a WrestleMania Classic last week, happy birthday to Bianca Belair. She is having a run right now.
She is. And, I'm going to give a props, not on one specific thing. I'll tell that story later. But I will say, my old co-host from RBR, Maxwell Baumbach, former booker of Freelance, for people who didn't know that. And of course, Maxwell Baumbach retired from the wrestling podcast game last year. He's a dad, and he writes about basketball now. If you haven't checked out Bomb Boards, man, that dude's got basketball insight like nobody I know. That's it. One of the things Maxwell Baumbach said a few years ago, and I remember it. It was just vividly. It has stood out in my mind since the first time he said it. Was he looked at Bianca Belair and he said, she just jumps off the screen in a way that nobody else does. And this was years ago. And he said, she's going to be a star. And granted, Maxwell has had some bad picks. So it was hard to because he was like, man, he said Titus O'Neil is going to be the next Batista. And
oh my God.
But I will say, I saw what he saw at the time because he did say specifically, he was like, he's got one of the best hot tags in the business. And that was still true. That was true for a long time. So maybe the boat was just missed on him. But
hey, shout out to Titus, man.
Titus O'Neil, yeah. Shout out to Titus, ambassador.
But the way he talked about Bianca and he was like, there's just something different about her from every other woman I've seen come through the Performance Center, and I think she's gonna be a star. And my brain keeps going back to that statement because I've never seen a statement more correct in that she's
a big star, dude.
In the way that I still feel like WWE didn't do all the work with her, but at the same time, they didn't have to because a lot of it was simply done by her being as good as she is, being as appealing as she is, being as marketable as she is.
Right.
And it's like, you know what? Sometimes all of that can transcend booking.
Right. So, yeah, seriously. Sometimes booking can't stop this train. This train's going regardless.
For sure. When
it's like I hate to compare, but Jade Cargill is legit the same thing. She just jumps off the screen. She is just you just can't deny. Undeniable presence, undeniable everything when you see these people. So
hey man, since we're talking about it,
Y'all
be nicer to black women.
Come on. Let's talk about it.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of y'all, judging Red Velvet and other black women harshly because you see them botch. Knock it off. Let these women develop. Stop, trashing women at other people's expense. Cut it out. Just cut it out.
It's goofy. Passing around that big swole clip. Y'all are goofy.
Yeah, I
goofy
saw that too.
Shit.
Nasty work out there, bro.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Goofy. Hella goofy, man. It's not like it's wrestling, bro. Like every match isn't a fucking 5-star classic. Some matches are the jackass death match, It's not like all gonna be what it is, man. Everything's different. It's pro wrestling. Some things are gonna go wrong. It's two people trying to fucking have a wrestling match together, dude.
I just come on, man. Cut it out. We had to watch Naomi go through certain stuff like this for the longest. Cut it out, man. I mean, and hey, all love to Willow. Willow had a great performance last night and a Supercard of Honor. But you ain't gotta, pub her up to trash Red Velvet. Cut it out. It's nasty work.
We can have both. That's it.
We can definitely have both.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people saying that Willow should have won that match, and I mean, here's the thing: Willow's not signed. I think she will be. Everybody,
that's what I said.
Everybody I've talked to in AEW seems to be of the belief that if she's not already, then probably the next time she shows up, there's going to be a contract in her hand.
Yep. They're chanting for Willow in the crowd. Like, this is another undeniable one. Like, you just have to.
I mean, we seem to kind of have, like, almost in a much quicker amount of time, a Wheeler Yuta kind of thing going on with her, right? Where, like, people are just kind of getting behind her, and it's working out. So
I knew it. It's fucking Willow, dude. She's incredible.
But I don't know.
You know what? That's one of those things I gotta give Reg credit for because
since day one of this podcast, I've been saying Willow Nightingale.
Has been pushing Willow from day one.
I know it.
Yeah.
So she could be the number one baby face in all of pro wrestling, women or man. Like I know this. I know this.
You said that like 6 months ago, and like, man, you have again proven correct.
Guy makes lists. I don't know.
I know, right?
I don't know. Yeah, who would have thunk it? This guy does some research. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, there are some times where Reg will say something where I'm like, "Oh, that's outrageous. You can't say that." And then, but then I'm like, "Okay, 6 months." Later,
I just watched a match with Swerve and QT Marshall on Rampage.
I know, right? Yeah. When this show started, and Reg is like, "Man, can't wait to see Shane Strickland show up in AEW." And mind you, Hit Row had like just gotten called up to WWE, and I'm like, you can't just say that.
Yeah,
and
I know what's going on here. I can see the writing on the wall.
And now here we are, and Swerve is making it happen.
Dude, how I don't know if we're gonna talk about this, but how dope was on Dynamite when they talked about him being at the Grammys? Like I was like, yo, this is so cool, man. Like who else is out here like this?
Who else?
I mentioned on Day After Dynamite with my guest Phil Lindsey.
Hey, those boys.
If you haven't watched that episode, it's kind of a spare Grapsody episode.
All the inside jokes were there. I dropped the world premiere.
I love it.
It was definitely just like kind of an extra bit of Grapsody, and that was fun to have for those who didn't watch it. So on Day After Dynamite, if you've never seen Day After Dynamite, the whole show is basically just a review of Dynamite and talking about any news that came out of Dynamite, talk about ratings, all that stuff. And I review every segment on a scale of F to S, and that's F to A, with S tier being an absolutely perfect segment, right? And I've always said it's rare to get an S tier. I did give Keith Lee's debut an S because I thought it was flawless. And so I gave FTR versus the Bucks an A+. Phil gave it an S, and like, you would think I gave it an F the way people were doing it.
Came straight in and babyface myself.
Right. From the jump.
People coming at me like, well, why wasn't this match an S tier? If this match can't be an S tier, what's an S tier?
Damn, did him like Meltzer. Got him like Meltzer that day. It's crazy out here.
4.7.
Even Meltzer was like, hey, same, bro. I'm saying same thing as well. Yeah.
Meltzer was like 4.75. And I get it because it's really hard in the same week that FTR versus the Briscoes occurred. It's like FTR versus the Briscoes is 5-star all the way,
was
right?
It. Flawless.
And it's like, it's not that the Bucks match wasn't great, but it's like if But it's kind of undeniable that in this particular instance, the Briscoes match was better. And it's like,
and they're gonna compare them. You can't.
Yeah,
not.
and it's like if one of them is a 5, the other one kind of has to fall whatever is slightly below the 5, just because. Again, we kind of got a bit of a curve here. FTR created a curve, and the Briscoes match was the better match. And if you're reviewing both of them in the same week, it's hard. And
what a problem to have. We have these 2 great matches.
I know, right?
Which one do you like more?
So, like, if you ask me to S tier the Briscoes match, absolutely. And that's why I was like, all right, A+ on the Bucks. Mm-hmm. It's a great match. No denying that.
Phenomenal. I watched it again, and I'm like, wow, they really did it.
I watched it twice as well.
They really did it.
Did you guys see, by the way, what Meltzer ranked the highest rated match from WrestleMania?
Was it Bianca and... it wasn't?
It was
the Code Man.
It was your boy Cody Luther King and Rollins.
Okay. That's right. Because I saw the Observer, but it didn't have a score for Cody versus Seth.
He forgot to put it on there.
He forgot to put it on there, and then he dropped it later. Shout out to Meltzer for just
Rollins agenda in full effect.
and just that man just did not review.
That's funny. No, he's just like, nah, nothing. I'm not doing it. I respect it, man. Whatever. You know how many matches he's reviewed? Like 10 million. So many.
Yeah. Hey,
but that match is dope. I'll review it. Yo, they went fucking yard. I love that match. That was the best match of WrestleMania. Suck it. I don't care.
Wait, which match?
The Jackass Death Match. Sami Zayn and Johnny fucking Knoxville, man. Come on. If this match happened in 1999, I would say probably more like that match was incredible. One of the best matches I've ever seen. At this age, I'm still saying the same thing because Jackass Pro Wrestling, they've always been friends. And for them to finally merge, Johnny Knoxville come out here, put out a 5-star classic with Sami Zayn. There's table bumps. There's rat traps. There's Wee Man body slamming. Wee Man came out with the heat too. He came from under the ring. He was throwing them things on him. Pop, 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 pop. I loved it, man. Great match.
Yeah,
5-star classic.
That's fucking WrestleMania.
Look, okay, and I guess it has to be one of those things where like I never got into Jackass. Mm-hmm. And so like Jackass was one of those things that wasn't for me. I remember when I was in the 7th grade, that was when like Jackass, I don't know if that's when it came out or it got like super popular. Mm-hmm. But like all the white boys at school were doing all the Jackass shit.
It's going along the same thing we were talking about before we started the podcast.
Show, and they were all doing it. And for whatever reason, it just didn't hit me. There was a whole like MTV amount of shit that just wasn't clicking with me. Like I didn't get Tom Green either, but like everything from that time period was all stuff I was like fully aware of. But like I was just like, I hate all of it.
I get it. Yeah, I understand. I understand. I was in it. Bro, I was backyard wrestling, doing Jackass stunts outside, Tom Green, all that shit. I was locked in. Yeah. 1999. It's a crazy time.
And so like I recognize that match wasn't for me, but I do get that. Like
everybody that says they hate it and they're like, that's dumb, I get it. But I loved it, legit. Like this is not, I'm not capping. I really loved it.
Honestly, if Jackass was for you, I understand fully why that match hit every single note. But I also recognize, as somebody that like never got into Jackass, that if it's not,
you're like, what is this shit?
Yeah, how a lot of it misses. Like, you know, it's like I knew who Wee Man was, but when Wee Man came out, it was like, you know, it didn't have that effect on me the way like I saw it have on the crowd because, again, it's one of those kind of built for not a specific audience, but really at least an audience that, and it's not to say that like, you know, Jackass movies all do really well, all of them have, and so. It's not even that difficult to capture an audience when it's a bigger audience than pro wrestling will ever have. So, like,
I mean, we heard that pop for the Jackass theme song.
Absolutely, Royal Rumble. When it was the biggest pop of the Rumble.
It was.
Them opening notes hit. And
meow,
like,
meow, meow. Yeah, it hit every time.
And like for me, I know those opening notes because that was the moment for me to change the channel. Now I'll be watching MTV and then I'd hear and I'm like, all right, what else is on?
Like I went to go watch Jackass Forever when it came out a couple months ago, and I liked it.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know. You know me and my taste. Last night I went and saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah.
You know what? That movie was ballin'. I love that movie. I had so much fun with that movie that it's one of those things that if you're a fan of, one, the first movie, and two, slapstick Jim Carrey humor, you are absolutely going to love this movie. And if you are not a fan of any of those things, and especially not a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, not for you.
I mean, yeah, I have to go see it. I was a big Sega kid.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the references are like there's little shit like he pulls up the manual for his robot, and it's like an old Sega Genesis manual, and I'm like, oh, this is just fun. This is totally made for me. It's totally made for somebody who just like grew up on 90s shit, like Jim Carrey being nothing but Jim Carrey. He ain't playing. Like, he's not even, like, trying to play Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Eggman. He's literally just being, like, the Jim Carrey we always knew him to be. And just, like, with a mustache. But that's
it's very far mustache.
Yeah. That's dope.
So, either way, I recommend it if you're a Sonic fan. And I'm a huge Sonic fan. I'm one of those guys who makes apologies for, like, bad Sonic games. And
then, like, if you have kids, take them, too.
Yes.
I don't. I've been one of those guys for the longest that has for a long time said that Sonic is better than Mario. Don't care.
I agree.
You know what? I am a believer that the 2D Sonics are better than the 2D Marios, but the 3D Marios are better than the 3D Sonics. So, like, that's... Because, like, I still think Mario Odyssey is, like, the best game I've ever played.
I mean, I think that they had a better transition with Mario.
Yes.
And Mario Kart is, like, forever goated.
Yes, absolutely.
Facts.
Although, them Sonic Kart races are pretty good. Anyway, let's read some super chats. Because we got your super chats. We got your Humper chats. They're all coming our way. Let's hear them. We got Brent Lockman. Says, happy Grapsody. A work in progress.
We're working on it.
Says, do you guys feel like the BCC has the potential to be more than a faction? Like the pro wrestling equivalent to a fighting gym? Ooh. I mean, that's the thing is, like, it started as just like, oh, this is a tag team. But then it's like, but as even Brian started to name drop people where he's like, nah, I want to see Lee Moriarty. I want to see Wheeler Yuta. And now I'm like, so do I.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is, this is becoming way more. And yeah, everything you did for Wheeler Yuta this week, it's time. Let's
do it.
Do it.
Keep
Lee
doing
Moriarty
it.
next.
Yeah.
Keep going. All those names that Brian dropped, although he dropped Daniel Garcia, and I feel like Jericho was like, nope.
You know what? When we talked about it, in Texas, Daniel Garcia, how it's actually working out for me, him being with Jericho. One, because Jericho's going to be on TV every single week. So that means that Daniel Garcia is going to be on TV every single week. But on top of that, it's showing this Daniel Garcia personality that I think everyone needs to see. So it's working out for me.
Oh, yeah. No, that dude is funny as hell.
Yeah,
and, like,
he's so funny.
He's really funny. And I feel like people don't see that out of him, and I really want to see that from people.
And I feel like him being with the Jackass Squad or whatever, the Jericho Anonymous Society or whatever, is helping him. So yeah, shout out to him. But I definitely 1,000,000% want to see him in one of those fights like last night with Bryan Danielson. Because
yeah, and I really like the idea of Garcia being kind of portraying itself as the antithesis to what those guys are, so that we can get the Garcia and Wheeler match or the Garcia and Lee match later.
And when I talked to him at a West Coast Pro show before he went, like, about Bryan Danielson, and he's like, I want to build. I don't want it to be like we're having it on Dynamite tomorrow. He's like, I want to build. I want everything for that match. So I understand. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I am La Lucha says, you're happy Saturday, my bros. Thank you.
Saturday.
John Gorman says, impressive by WWE to kill any major buzz they had. AEW creating another star in Wheeler Yuta, and FTR having a hell of a week.
Yo, Tony Khan said, that's y'all big show. That's what y'all coming with? That shit? Let me show you how to fucking do it. 2 fucking nights in a row, fucking on fire. That's how you do it.
Topic number 5 is going to be funny as hell because I can't wait to talk about this because of what it did to wrestling Twitter 24 hours. I'm so excited for topic number 5.
Wrestling Twitter's been going crazy this week. and every week.
Curtis says, love the show, y'all killing it. Who do you see joining BCC next? Thoughts on Lee Moriarty joining the faction? Well, we just said that.
Yeah.
That's the one I want to see next.
Yeah, I think it's definitely got to be Lee.
That's the one.
I feel like he fits in very well with the group. And it just
this BCC thing we might have to change because it's way too close to BBC.
BBC.
Every time I see it, I'm like, what are y'all talking about today on here? But I get it. No, I see.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm like, damn, y'all are going for it. I see. No, I'm not mad at it.
Deontay says, morning, my boys. I'm vibing and thriving and always surviving. Always great to see my boys. Going to the AEW show in New Orleans next week.
You about to really see your boy out in New Orleans, right?
So I can always see y'all smile. Much love, y'all. I will be there as well. I actually will very much be there. And actually, I'm not going to say this out loud just yet because I may be putting some things out. But I will say that the tickets I have, one person can't make it. So I have to do something with one of those tickets, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But
Washington always extra AEW tickets.
Yeah.
It never fails.
And I will say that these seats are the best seats anybody would have ever had to a wrestling show. Like, it's like that good. But no, I had to see Swerve. Swerve having his Dynamite debut.
Oh my God, you're going for that tag match.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Jesus.
I can't miss Swerve's Dynamite debut.
You did this. You told somebody, hey, make sure somebody has a really good book match. You a sly dog, really, Will Washington.
It was like, I knew it had to happen because it was one of those things where it's like, okay, there was no way in hell Ricky Starks wasn't wrestling in New Orleans.
Right.
There's zero chance.
Right.
And it's like, oh, he's feuding with Swerve right now? Okay, yeah.
It was either going to be this or a singles match. Like, it's going to be lit either way, yeah.
Right.
Can I just say, friend of the show, Cam, one of the biggest laughs I got of the weekend is Cam walking around with Ricky and introducing him to people like, hey, you guys know Ricky? Like, yeah, Cam, we know Ricky. He's on TV. Why
That's Ricky Starks, bro.
Why are you introducing this guy
Yes,
like he's
we
just
know
your friend
Ricky
from around the way? Shout out to Cam, man.
Cam was on it. I tweeted the homie pulled up with like 11 of them behind him, like 11. Yeah. Like the baddie section was with Cam, and I was like, "Let's go crazy in there! Somebody let me in!"
Yeah, and of course Ricky walking around with that cut on his forehead, and I was like, wonder what that's from. And then of course we watch Rampage the next night, and he gets busted open. I'm like, oh,
yeah, that brawl was tight too.
Yeah, but it happened the night before, but it was either way, this is fun stuff. Hey, Rob says, I became a Bianca fan during her debut match with Kyrie at the first Mae Young Classic.
Agreed. They got to bring back the Mae Young Classic, man.
The Mae Young Classic was such a great tournament. I don't know why.
I mean, I don't know where
you guys have your own thing. Like,
I mean,
what's
the problem is, the problem with the Mae Young Classic now is there's so much else out there.
Yeah, I guess going on what Samoa Joe said, all the great talents are somewhere else or signed away. Yeah,
and if you haven't seen that, by the way, watch Samoa Joe in the ROH post-show press conference that your boys were a part of. And we all got some good questions in there. But Samoa Joe basically went promo mode.
Samoa Joe said, yo, this is my time, bro. I'm going
Samoa
for it.
Joe basically cut a promo in that whole deal.
It was beautiful.
He basically said all the same things Cody said. I mentioned this last week where Samoa Joe was like, look, I did the things of putting people over and creating opportunities for people. But now I'm here to just do me and win.
And oh my God, this match that they announced, jeez Louise, what? I said go for it with Samoa Joe, but they're really going for it with Samoa Joe. Oof, I love it.
Yeah, Joe, though, talking about one of the things he mentioned was why the direction changed for signing talent. And he said, like, to be honest, the real reason was because AEW signed up all the good indie talent, so we had to come up with a new strategy because indie talent was likely going to find a better home there, and it's like, okay, well, let's switch it up.
Right.
I had a question at the tip of my tongue, and I did get a chance to ask it, because he was vocal about thinking that the Forbidden Door was stupid at one point. I wondered, did he still feel the same way?
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Damn, that would have been a good question.
That would have been a good one.
That would have been great.
And look at his next match is Forbidden Door like a motherfucker. Him and Minoru Suzuki on Dynamite. So
I thought about it, but I didn't get a chance to get that question in. But it was right there. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? That happened at the Revolution press conference as well, where like Tony had said something that like sparked like 10 thoughts in my head, and I'm like, whoa.
Right.
And they're like, "No, you already asked your question." I'm like,
yeah.
I got like
That's what gets frustrating about it. It's like
wait. That don't work for me because I got more questions to follow up on that statement, and I couldn't. But
they're just like, nope, he's out of here. See you later.
But I do love those media scrums, and I do love that. Cody Rhodes brought up the other day. He was talking about how like he mentioned because he just did one for WrestleMania week, and Cody Rhodes did, and he brought up how he's kind of giving Brandy the credit for like essentially laying the groundwork for the creation of these because we've been doing them so much as of late that it is hard to recall that this all really did just start in the last 3 years. This wasn't like like they weren't talking to wrestling media like this. They weren't just letting wrestling media be in the room and then ask questions like that. That wasn't a thing before just like 3 years ago.
Hey man, back to what I said before. Give black women their credit, man.
Yep.
So it has been a very different thing than we've seen in the past. All In was. There's really been 4 years. All In was really the first time we got to see stuff like that, and then since then, everybody because WWE then decided to start embracing the wrestling media. Really, with it that started with NXT, but like that was. Remember that premiere episode of NXT where they invited all the wrestling media people out to Full Sail, but it was the same day as the premiere episode of Dynamite, and it's like, but y'all have been on USA for 2 weeks. What makes this episode any different than, like, why are y'all doing it here when you should have been doing it 2 weeks ago? But they invited all the wrestling media people to Full Sail to cover NXT and in the process, like, not cover that premiere episode of Dynamite. But that was, like, the first time the WWE was really, like, fully embracing wrestling media and bringing them in and having them, like, have a presence at the shows. And now, like, it's funny, wrestling media, like, being a part of wrestling media, like, actually means something now because wrestling companies have been embracing us, and I like it.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a very good thing because, one, I do feel it helps separate the pack of people who are legitimately covering this stuff and wanting to bring attention to certain things and get questions answered, and then it also separates that from like people who are
media man.
Media man. And it separates it from people who are just like trolls.
Right.
And
come on, man, get media man at some of these WWE press junkets.
Come on, man. I'm media man's trying to be up in the WWE press junkets too, man. I don't discriminate. I'm not gonna say that shit's trash. I promise.
To their face.
Their face.
Yeah, exactly. Not forever.
Ryan Sullivan says, Willow is amazing and should be signed. That said, I love Red Velvet. I think she has fun, enjoyable matches and connects with the crowd. And you know what? It feels like she's starting to turn. And so I am kind of in on heel Red Velvet, especially since it looks like Layla Hirsch is injured. So that story is probably not going to get to finish up. So
the thing I don't think people have given Red her credit on, in all of the matches where the crowd has not been on her side, that being the Pittsburgh match, the match with Sky here in Chicago, and this match, is when she sees the crowd is not on her side, she'll immediately adjust her style in ring, and she'll help the other person in the ring get over. Right. And that's the sign of a good wrestler. And again, that's why I'm like, give Red her credit, man. Stop trashing Red for no reason.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I think she's really good at that. Speaking of which, friend of the show, Red Velvet, because we were actually supposed to have her on a few weeks ago, and that ended up getting rescheduled. But Red Velvet is going to be joining us here on Grapsody.
I have more questions now. I have more questions now because I don't like how y'all talking about her. So
man.
But yes, raise your tutors for Wheeler Uter.
Your tutor. That's hilarious.
No, I will say though, because Regal, and he always calls him Wheeler Uter. Uter. Yeah,
Uter.
It gets me every time. I love it.
Yeah.
And let's see, we've also got folks still telling me my mic is low. Man, I don't know.
It's like you don't adjust it for any podcast you ever do, and you always sound fine. I don't get it.
Yeah. So either way, I just raised the volume on that. So hopefully that did something. Let's see.
Raise it.
We got the and then a follow-up on the last one. Says that Jackass match was what I love about the dumb stuff in wrestling. I was sports entertained.
I was super sports entertained.
Wee Man threw better punches than Shane McMahon or Ronda Rousey.
Honestly, definitely better than Shane. Shane's the worst.
Shane O'Mac got to stop it, man.
And Ronda has to stop talking. Oh my God. Can anyone care less about anything they're doing in the world? She just does not care.
I will say, and I don't know if this is a knock on it or if I just am not recovered from Dallas yet, but I fell asleep in like record time. I started SmackDown. And,
He said record time.
I say that the reason I say record time was because I don't remember her promo.
Right.
The last thing I remember was her.
Good thing.
The last thing I remember was her theme song, and then I passed out, and I literally.
So you said it had the Jackass effect. It hit the dance. I
So,
don't really care about.
I'm saying no,
I'm
for
like-
real.
Like record time this week that I did try to watch SmackDown. I started it, and there was that WrestleMania video package, and then her theme music hit, and I don't remember anything else. I woke up the next morning, so
Put them out for the rest of the
did
night.
you miss the Bloodline stuff too?
I missed everything. I have not seen anything else from SmackDown.
Okay.
I watched Rampage, so I got home from the movies, watched Rampage, and then I was like, all right, I'm in a good mood. I just want to keep watching wrestling. Started SmackDown, out.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah,
I watched the whole thing. Look at me.
Yeah, I just wrote about Ronda for Bleacher Report, and I just think it's interesting how far they've come with Ronda over just the last 5 years, because she was the main attraction at one point at WrestleMania 34, and then she was a part of the first women that main evented at 35, and this match last weekend, I just didn't care. I'm sorry, I just didn't care, and it was a solid match, but I just don't care for Ronda as a babyface. They've got to do something different.
Well, it's interesting because all of her matches in 2018 were hitting. It just felt like and I don't just think it was the opponents because I thought she had great matches with Alexa Bliss. I thought she had a great match with Nia Jax. I think she was she just seemed like she had a good presence. She was in there with Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
It had
She did have a good presence. Something about her. She had a good aura at the time.
and something isn't clicking right now the same way. Probably the best match of her run was Survivor Series with Charlotte, and WrestleMania with Charlotte was not it. So
I feel like that was the turning point when people booed her in the Staples Center. I don't think she ever recovered.
She was like, "That's it. I thought I would be a savior here."
She was like, "How dare you?"
I started this gangster shit. This is a motherfucking thanks I get. Hello.
Yeah. But no, Ronda's good. The current character is just boring, man. They've got to do something different.
Yeah. Rob Reed says, I can confirm all the white kids were doing Jackass stunts. I mean, nobody heard that warning at the beginning of the show.
No,
I
opposite,
remember,
dude. Opposite.
No, I remember when like I said, it was about 7th or 8th grade. I vividly remember these kids who I remember I was just sitting outside my school, and all of a sudden these kids drive by, and they're in a pickup truck, and they've got the hatch down, and they're like holding on to it and got like skis under, and are like being dragged around the street. And I'm like, again, Jackass, the way that inspired people, the way it was like, hey, don't try any of this at home, and then they're all like,
definitely
what?
try this at home. Yeah,
absolutely.
WWE did the same thing. Hey, please don't try this at home, bro. I'm about to try this suplex tonight on my friend. What you mean? It's going down. I'm not. What you mean?
I mean, look, they said WWE had those "don't try this at home" warnings, and yet, pretty
Opposite
much
effect.
every wrestler who is around today, tells the story of, "Nah, I tried this at home."
Yeah,
Like,
everyone
that's what
tried this
I
at
felt.
home. Every one of them tried this at home.
Like, please don't try this at home. But also, we need to create stars for the future. So, that's kind of the only way this happens.
Please try this at home, but don't try this at home. But please try this at home. Yeah, so
It's like, yeah, we're gonna show
I tried
you.
this at home a lot.
Like, think about how much they've shown those, like, backyard videos of, like, the Hardys jumping off the roof and stuff like that. And it's like, and now they're stars, but also don't do this.
Don't do this. The Mick Foley video is so famous. They're like, Mick Foley started backyard wrestling, but please don't. Mick Foley will tell you, don't try it. But it's
Mick
like
jumping off the roof. Come on, bro.
You think I didn't want to do that? We all was trying to do that crazy
I did not want to jump off the roof.
I wasn't really into the heights and shit. Slam me down here.
I mean, there was one. I had so we had this tool shed in my backyard, right? When I was younger, and we had a trampoline, and we would move the trampoline next to the shed, and then we were all doing like swantons and stuff off.
Right.
That was what we did. So.
That's what's up. I hated the kids that did trampoline backyard wrestling. They weren't cool to me. As a backyard wrestler with the ring,
yes,
them trampoline guys were trash, man. It's all about getting slammed on something hard. There's some wood under here. That's why my back's fucked up right now as a 35-year-old. Son of a bitch. Trying this at home. They were right. I shouldn't have tried this at home.
Yep. Let's see. Curtis says, while WWE depicts most of the Asian talents as racist caricatures, Tozawa, Jacket Time, even Asuka at times, Tony made a legit Asian American star in a month of great storytelling. Yuta is the man.
Hey, don't leave out Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get what you're saying there, mainly because I don't think Vince McMahon finds anything funnier than Asians.
Right.
And like, I don't know what it is, but I think maybe he just like saw that scene from A Christmas Story like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and it was just like, this is the funniest shit ever, and I want every Asian going forward to be that. But like, I don't understand why.
It's a dead horse, but Tozawa's a fucking ninja, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? He's still a ninja.
Like the idea, and I hate that, right? I hate that if Tozawa signed literally anywhere else and went on a legendary run, people are going to be like, what, you mean that guy who chased the 24/7 title and was a ninja? Like, you're pushing him? Like, I can't believe how much they have tainted Tozawa.
I've seen this guy in some of the craziest matches live at PWG, like stuff you would not believe. And I think about that as he's running around as a ninja, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
I can't believe how much of a name Kushida was
Kushida
4 years ago. Like, that was a name that we talked about a lot as far as like, okay, names that, you know, could be something in any promotion that has this guy. And it's like, nah, he's Jacket Time.
That's why I didn't want him to sign. And I'm sorry, but that was one of those that I didn't want him to sign. And I hate that I feel like I was right about that, because they're doing exactly what I thought they were going to do. But hey,
and like, I like Asuka. I like Asuka as a performer. I do.
Yeah.
And I think that Asuka has a lot of fun with what she does. But there is something that kind of grinds my gears about the stuff that tends to go the most viral with her, is the stuff where it's like, oh, look at her, she's being goofy and silly.
Right.
And it's like doing kind of caricature-y stuff. And I thought, it's not, like, the thing is, if you've ever followed Asuka's presence on anything YouTube, anything she does outside of pro wrestling, that is a big part of her personality. But it is also like, but I almost dreaded Vince seeing that, because it's like, oh, that's exactly what she's going to be going forward now.
It's the Moxley quote. Once you let him know that you can be funny, that's all he will let you do.
I forgot about that quote. That's a good quote.
It's a great quote.
And let's see. Nathan DePaul says, Sonic, Mario, nah, Donkey Kong was the best 2D platformer. You know what's funny? How long has it been? Oh, God, 26 years. So I have been trying to beat Donkey Kong Country 3 for 26 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I just looked up.
That's a long save point.
I know. I maybe come back to this game in this exact same save. I mean, I swear to y'all, that is my original Super Nintendo right there. I come back to this game maybe once a year, play like 2 stages, and then move on. I don't know why I'm still stuck on Donkey Kong Country 3. I have never seen how this game ends. I want to.
I'm like, and you never will, from the sounds of it. Shit.
I maybe pick it up. I think it's been like 3 years since the last time I picked it up. But there was a time where I was picking it up maybe like once a year, playing a couple of stages, and then moving on. For whatever reason, though, have not beaten Donkey Kong Country 3. And I got it Christmas 1996.
Wow. Wow.
Christmas of 96. That's
Christmas
so
96.
fucking funny.
I was 9 years old. I got it Christmas 96. And I like the game. I just don't know why I have yet to beat it 26 years later.
You've been playing Donkey Kong for Ho's entire rap career.
I'm saying. Straight up. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Lonzo says, can you see BCC become an interpromotional faction? That I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think they're just going to keep doing what they're doing now.
Yeah. Mike says, love the show. I was in the crowd on Wednesday night, and we blew the roof off against us. Will, Phil, and Reg, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Yeah, I know a lot of people who were there who said that
great crowd.
They said it was the best of the 3 shows they'd done there, because I know they were there this past October, and then they were there October of 2019. And so you guys have gotten it fairly often. And yet, I feel like Boston continues. Like, Boston is kind of getting to be AEW territory, where it's like every single time they run Boston, it's hotter each time around. And good on you guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, that crowd was insane. That anytime a crowd is that super hot, it always makes the show better. Like, that's just a thing.
Yep, for sure.
Shout out Alex. She says, just wanted to show y'all extra love. So happy we finally met last weekend. Reg, remember our booking.
Yeah, never forget. There was a guy at one of the shows we're at. He had a giant tub of cheese balls, like giant. Like, he didn't get he could have got a Ziploc and dropped a couple of cheese balls. Now he brought
was
the
this
whole
at the Mission
tub.
Pro show?
I think so. Yeah, and he was like hitting it. He was hitting on top of the cheese tub, like as his little drum. And you know,
he was getting it in.
He was getting it in, bro.
He was getting it in.
Gotta respect it. Yo, no, I'm bringing my cheese balls in. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, no, I was very happy to meet Alex finally.
Yeah, no, it was great. Alex is a incredibly funny person. We had a great conversation. She's cool. She had a great time out there in Texas, it looked like. With Complex.
Monique says, just a bot showing some love.
Oh, God, those bots.
Hey,
Tony Khan just brought him out, man. I can't believe he said it.
Story number 5. Brent Lockman says, Joe Suzuki, I had to rewind the show, make sure that announcement wasn't just a fever dream. TK is absolutely a game.
Bro, they try to just throw him in. They try to, like, make sure it's like they try to not make us see it or something. Excalibur's just like, and Samoa Joe and Suzuki. We're like, no, hold on. Let's talk about this.
Hey, honestly, I think he's having a better time than most EWR does, because, like, my EWR saves, I'd just be going, and then all of a sudden it'll be like John Moxley has decided to retire and become a porn star, and like and then I don't have John Moxley in my game anymore. Like, none of that shit happens in real life.
And shout out to Moxley for going to Corey and Carmella's wedding in the Cincinnati Bengals gear and the black boots.
How I am, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm coming like this, bro. What you want? Do you want me to come to your wedding? Yes. Okay, I'm coming like this.
And I said on Twitter, because that idea broke a lot of people's brains when they saw Moxley with, WWE people, and they're like, oh, he's going back. And I thought, man, if y'all had been at Wale Mania and seen the amount of people from different companies who were just like
friends.
Yeah, and it's like your brains would have completely broken. You would have been like, "Oh, this person's going to Impact. Oh, this person's going to WWE.
Right.
Oh, this person's going to AEW." If you had seen how many people don't give a fuck about any of that, it's just because
these are my homies. What's up? We used to wrestle together over here. How nice to see you. It's not about any of that.
Yeah, and Daniel says Shane should be Jericho's entertainer of the week.
That entertainer, I laughed really hard at QT Marshall being the sports entertainer of the week, though. That's super silly.
Sabrina says, just tuning in now, but what has been discussed so far, I want to be able to send appropriate super chats. Thank you, Sabrina.
And I know we've been all over the place.
Yeah, we kind of
we've been all over the world.
Yeah, we have been. Brent says, totally have shopping cart PTSD.
You've been slammed into a wall at your friends running you down a hill before?
Yeah. Kimberly says, a couple of kids from my high school made the national news because Todd tried to jump over.
Oh
a moving
no.
car.
Guys,
Yeah, no,
please
we
be
try to
safe.
like stay away from
Please.
like car, anything that could like really murder us. We try to stay away from those things like
Please be
cars
safe.
and knives and shit. But
please be
yeah,
safe.
I will get slammed in a shopping cart or like dump a whole McDonald's milkshake over your head or something. I don't know, something silly. Nothing too dangerous.
That most of the WWE fans have no idea about Kana being a straight up murder savage before coming to WWE.
Hey, if
Watch
you
her
haven't-
match with this guy Suzuki we're gonna see on Wednesday. That shit's crazy.
Hey man, if you guys have never seen her match with Meiko Satomura, so great. Come on, man.
Shucky Ducky says, we'll
Quack,
be stuck
quack.
on purple pipe level with reverse controls. I think that's the one I'm stuck on. Steph the Writer says, which women's wrestler do you want to see in BCC? What about Statlander, Deeb, or
I think
Velvet?
Deeb is
Deeb
probably
is the
set
best
up the most right now.
Deeb
Yeah,
is the best fit. But no, it's really Deeb.
it's
Like,
Deeb. Yeah, it's pretty much
like, I
Deeb.
was like, I could see Statlander.
Yeah,
And
I think it
honestly-
has to be Deeb, honestly. Yeah, she just fits the mold.
honestly, I would love to see Deeb start her own faction similar to theirs. where
Also.
she's like the professor, and she
A woman's version, yeah, that'd be
I-
pretty hot.
That would be cool.
Sabrina says, sending a major bag. Thank you.
Whoa,
but I just
thanks,
wanted
Sabrina.
to say I enjoy your lives, and I have one major question. What do you think is going to happen to Wardlow in AEW? Think he's going to be a star?
He's
I
a
think-
big star. They're setting him up pretty great for it. Yeah, he's
Yes.
he's doing it.
He's doing his thing, man.
I'm going to be careful about answering this one. But Juan Garcia says, will the Ready to Go track for Private Party be added for digital download? It's missing from the album. No. And that's all I'll say. And
It's
I'll
not
leave-
funny. Not
No,
funny for any reason. I'm sorry. I just
No,
how Will was like, no.
No,
No, I will leave it up to
Yeah.
anybody else to answer that, but
Right.
no.
really dope track, man.
Yeah. Van Twinblade says, Will, don't forget the humpers.
Don't forget
Actually,
the
I'm
humpers.
waiting on Jeremy to pass me those. He had to step out, but he will get those to me here shortly. And so let's get into topic number 5.
Khan had them Twitter fingers
Hey, man.
yesterday.
It is funny that we spent like the first few minutes of this podcast talking about Sonic because we've got Khan out here beating the bots.
I have to say, this was the funniest.
Oh, I cried.
Uh,
I cried.
what this did to wrestling Twitter yesterday was the funniest fucking thing. For anybody who hasn't seen it, Tony Khan tweeted out that a lot of
Tony
the-
Khan's a
he
damn
said-
fool,
well,
man.
He said most of the anti-AEW accounts on Twitter are bots.
They bots. No, they're fake. They're all bots. The homie said any shade that come through is bots. They're not real.
it's
There's
cap, bro.
nobody
It's fake
behind
news.
there. Yeah, there's nobody
Now-
behind these accounts, bro.
Now, I have to say really quick. I want the exact wording of what specifically he said.
Man.
Um,
I got tears again.
He said, an independent study has confirmed that much of the staunch anti-AEW online community aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of accounts plus an army of bots to signal boost them. Look closely. These aren't real people who'd pay for such a wildly expensive thing.
I'm saying, like them streaming farms, it happens in music too. You know, Tony Khan's like, nah, these are bots, bro. We cooking out
said-
here. How are we not cooking? What's up?
He said, research this one yourselves. You internet detectives thrive in these situations. And then he went, hold on. And then he said, speaking of wild things, you don't want to miss John Moxley versus
I'm saying. The homie said, you internet detectives. You internet detectives. Called y'all
And then he
out.
said, ever wonder why so much of the activity of these counts is retweets and replies? Like, who actually has 80% of their activity as straight up retweets?
The comment said, what's up?
I mean, he turned the term e-drones into, like, actual drones.
Yeah, no, for reals. He's like, no, y'all want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
Like, man, I
cried.
was, honestly.
So funny.
Especially, like, some of the shit people were saying was, like, just so good. It was...
Yeah, no, everybody got on that little, like, they remixed his tweet. Like, I saw at least 100 of them. Minimum 100
The
of
Becky
them.
tweet was great. That was hilarious.
Now, I have to say that on one side of this, I actually... There is some validity to what he's saying.
Yes.
But it's way funnier to just, like, take it to the extremes.
Right.
Because what he's specifically saying here, because the funny thing was I saw almost the case in point example of what he's talking about, in that there was one tweet that popped up in my feed from somebody I don't follow, who had maybe 200 followers, who was just saying some anti-AEW shit, pro-WWE shit, kind of some rah-rah shit, right? But I'm like, how does this shit continually show up in my feed when these guys have, like, no followers whatsoever? This guy had no followers, and what is it? And so I did go through the retweets and start looking at every single account, and it is being boosted by accounts that have nothing else, that do nothing else but boost stuff.
But that,
it's literally just like it had maybe 100 retweets, and if you go through these accounts, all of the accounts are just boost
bots.
accounts. They're just bots there to boost stuff like that. And so then the question is, who is actually taking the time to boost posts like this to show up in people's feeds? Because otherwise I don't follow much of anything other than, like, it was like, because you're interested in pro wrestling, here's a tweet you might be interested in. And it's like, no, I'm not interested in this at all. This is horseshit.
Right.
But,
Right.
And so that's one of those things where it's like, okay, that's what he's saying here, that these accounts, like, I think the person who posted it is a real person. Like, I went through that person's account and I'm like, okay, this person is full of shit, but, like, this is what this person does, like, all day, and they just post bullshit. But who's boosting these posts? That's the question here, is why are these posts getting boosted so much? And it does seem like this guy could literally just post one quick thing and then 50 accounts come in and retweet it and boost it.
Right.
And so there is some kind of effort being made there to make that happen.
It's happening. Tony went extreme with it, but it's definitely happening.
That said, like I said, I got that. That's what I think that's what was being said there, and I think any independent study actually would find that information. And keep in mind, people, like, I am a software developer. This is what I do for a living. So, like, I'm not just, like, talking out of my ass here. This is stuff that I see. That said, so, like, I can see where that comes from. But the part that makes it funny is that because what he specifically said was the staunch anti-AEW online community aren't real individuals, which now makes it so easy to take guys who, like, are real people, but, like, their entire personality is I hate AEW.
Shout out to Rich, because he let all of them know.
Matter of fact, I think it's the big homie Rich's birthday as well. Happy birthday to Rich.
Shout out Rich Latta, man. What a guy.
Rich Latta. Yes. Of the AEW album, shout out Rich Latta.
Happy birthday, bro.
I think it is funny.
Oh, we were crying. Like, oh my God.
It's definitely some people that are not real people out here.
No,
online.
Seriously, yes. No, you're a real person, but you're not a real person at the same time.
To just be like, nah, get lost, bot. Like,
get out of here, loser. You're a robot, dude. Like, you wake up to, like, hate as a robot. So, like,
so I got what was supposed to be said there, but it is way funnier now to just, like, you know,
and I get to see because he called them internet detectives too. That's what I think is hella funny. That he was just like, just letting it off on all these fools, man. I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of hearing this. I'm tired of these bots.
Yes.
What's up?
No, this is funny as hell. Like I said, I don't think there's necessarily a lie being told here. I think that there is some validity to the fact that now, I think the implication at the end, the last sentence he's saying is, who would pay for such a wildly expensive thing? That seems to imply that he's thinking it might be another wrestling company. Yeah. I don't even know if that's necessarily who it is, as much as like because it could be anybody, right? Yeah. It could be anybody who's just because it's not so much that it's expensive as much as it's time consuming.
I was gonna say tedious, maybe. You know what I mean? Just like nobody really wants to do that.
And so it could be another company behind that, or it could just be people who like really just don't like the company and want to see. Also, like either way,
there's some people that really be hating online. You know, I tweet some things about AEW and they come into my mentions with their shit. So it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like
it's definitely there's definitely an effort to boost those posts. There's no question about that. If you see some of those posts that got like the 100 some odd retweets and it's like nobody accounts, just consider like go look at those retweets. Like,
I'm fucking greater than this person is greater. It's like y'all are just just
listen.
This is nothing.
I've been saying for a while, abolish study use of the greatest.
Please, please.
It's so bad.
Oh,
I hate
God,
that you can't
please.
nuke pictures because, like, I would love.
I do not want to see one more. I want to live the rest of my life never seeing one of those again. I swear.
No, that said, I used it this week, but I was using it to make a bigger statement when I was talking about FTR is now greater than they were 2 years ago.
You just want to stir up some controversy.
I was trying to stir it up with the images,
stir it up.
But I was trying to make the overarching point that FTR has really.
But yeah, if you don't think that, that's crazy. Like, did you see what they just did?
Well, I have seen some people who are like, they're still not as good as they were in NXT, and I'm like, no, they're better. Like, honestly, I think
that is cap.
That's crazy.
Because I think that the theme music, like everything, is like really come together for these guys. I think the Dark Side of TR theme is so good.
Just seeing two guys that are like 100% themselves being able to do exactly how they want to do these matches. Like, come on, you can't deny that. That's crazy.
No, and honestly, being like a tribute to the past team, I think is a great shtick for them. I think when they come out with the NWO jackets, or they come out with they've got the Ring of Honor gear, like every time they can find a way to pay homage to something, I think
they do it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's very cool, and it's cool for them. Nah, honestly though, this bot shit is the funniest shit.
So
and
funny.
I love what it did.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I am having an absolute blast.
Sorry, if you guys were looking for us to cover this in an intelligent way,
no way.
Just laugh at it.
Yeah,
you came to the wrong place.
This shit is fun to me, bro. There's bots. Y'all are fake. That's what the homies say. Anybody who talk about us as fake is so funny, bro.
Hilarious, man.
Now they capping. That's a bot. So funny, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, no, I don't know what you want from us.
This is great. I am having
so funny,
just a blast with it. Yeah, Tony Khan was just on one yesterday.
I mean, honestly,
he brought
like
up the invoice list.
Yeah,
that. And for those who haven't seen the invoice that was published like 2 years ago of all of the things that AEW is paying,
the bro got receipts in that cell phone, bro. He got all the receipts he needs to the end of time. He about to have all these receipts for y'all ass.
And the funny thing was, like, that list was published like as a parody, right? It was like, oh look, AEW's paying Dave Meltzer $1 million a month, and. One, I love how outdated that list is now. I figure like if somebody made that today, they'd be like Fightful, Grapsody.
Yeah, Sean Ross Sapp.
But
once again, if AEW was paying me, I would show you the check. I'm not. Come on, bro. I want some clout. I'd be like, here's my check from Tony Khan. I haven't got it, bro.
Yo, yeah.
And you got paid for the album because
I did get one check from Tony Khan. That's it. Okay.
The tweet where he was responding to Alvarez, and he was like, "You can keep your check this week.
Yeah, keep your $200K."
That was hilarious.
He didn't care. I loved it.
Nah, honestly, this is the kind of stuff that like. If you're not having fun with any of this,
come on, dude. Like, I think us being in the scrums also helps a lot because, like, getting to talk to Tony and knowing his personality a little bit makes it even funnier. Just like this guy is hilarious, dude. Like, you have to laugh at some of the things he does, man.
You just have to laugh at it. Like, if you're not finding this stuff funny, because that's how I feel. And the thing is, I'm also finding. Like Sami Zayn, right? Sami Zayn is like going at anybody who didn't like the Jackass match. He is just having fun with that. He's saying best match of my entire career. Like I don't care if you liked who I was in the Indies. I don't care what you thought of El Generico. The best match of my career. My my magnum opus.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. He worked his whole life for that.
He's like this. He said, if I retire tomorrow, this is the best thing I've ever done in my career. Was this match with Johnny Knoxville? He is having fun, and I think that kind of shit is funny.
It's perfect.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is always going to be funny to me.
Like, I think if you aren't like directly hurting anybody, it's fucking funny. Who cares?
Man, that whatever, the few days before Mania and Rollins was posting all those pictures of people, and people like, oh, is he wrestling that guy? All that stuff was hilarious.
It's great.
Keep
doing it, man.
And the funny thing was, he didn't post one of Cody. I think that's who he should have posted at some point.
Yeah, that probably should have been the first one, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe as he's going through, just make sure he includes Cody in all of it. Just really toy with the rumors.
Yeah.
Did he post one of Hook? I feel like he did.
He posted Marco Stunt, I know.
Marco Stunt, that was
people jumped all over the Marco one. Like, oh, what does this mean? Like, guys, he's trolling you. That's what it means.
He's trolling so hard. What does this mean?
And Sabrina says independent study. Yeah, I think it was an independent study. Because the thing is, it's not that hard to get. I mean, was it a study commissioned by Tony? Yes, that's at least my theory. And I think he said that. I think he said that it was but it wasn't somebody that worked for Tony Khan.
Right.
That did that. It was somebody who was acting in the interest of simply figuring this out. That said, we wouldn't have heard about it if it didn't show what the idea that there are bots boosting this stuff. Kevin says, I love Becky Lynch's response to Tony Khan's bot tweet. Yeah, it was great.
Becky Lynch is really good at media and everything that surrounds it, pretty much.
And then Trish Stratus quote tweeting it with the Seth Rollins tweet, or with the Seth Rollins quote, where she said, what was exactly Trish Stratus's quote? I want to make sure she quote tweeted it and said, I find it very tacky and lowbrow personally. I think it looks and reeks of desperation. The thing Seth Rollins said word for word about AEW mentioning WWE. So again, this shit is fun.
All fun. Everybody's having fun.
If this is built to Trish coming back and having another match with Becky, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Although the Charlotte match was a good match for her to retire on, but
it
also,
was.
I still think, I don't know. I love Trish.
She sounds like she's still trying to get that Sasha match too.
Yeah,
we want it. Sasha definitely wants that match.
I think it's hard for her, right? Because it was damn, I went out on such a high note on the Charlotte match in Toronto.
Right.
But also, I want to wrestle Sasha
I really want to wrestle Sasha Banks. What do I do?
I want to wrestle Becky Lynch. Yeah, damn, what do you do?
Right.
Sabrina says the bots are Vince McMahon.
I mean, speaking of that, Stone Cold, he had The Rock was his last mic. He had the perfect send-off, honestly, but he said, nah, I'm going to do it again with Kevin Owens. So shout out to Kevin Owens.
Rob says TK versus the bots is the new Elbow versus Rocco.
The bots.
Them bots, man.
Ronan Mike Clip says, as someone who worked for another YouTuber, I totally understand where he's coming from because I've seen it firsthand. The reason they do this is to harm the brand or name. Yeah, like I said, there is.
It's really a thing.
Yeah, bots are a thing.
Yeah, and there is an effort. You see what they're doing and how they're boosting it. Dilo Dig says, TK gave the bots the birds aren't real gimmick.
The birds aren't real. Straight up.
Alexander says, I'm an AI researcher, and a lot of my published work is on criminal bot networks. What Tony described is real. You can buy turnkey signal boosting botnets fairly easily.
Yep.
You can.
Yeah.
And Brent Lockman says, all I could picture is the robot island in Futurama. The ones refusing to upgrade, and it seemed fitting.
It's pretty fitting.
Yeah.
Pretty fitting.
Brent also said, TK is one of us in the sense, that, for better or worse, he is totally an internet wrestling fan and has been for so long.
Yep, that's it. He's never going to stop being message board Tony Khan. He's going to be him forever, and we love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, that is a person who is very much aware. But I am glad that a lot of the stuff that he sees and reads on Twitter isn't fully taken to heart. And I say that because that man posted A Star Is Born after the Wheeler Yuta match. Which, by the way, I just want to check something. The next thing we can talk about. All right.
Yeah.
Wheeler Yuta versus Jon Moxley.
Ooh,
So we'll just talk about this now. But so he mentioned Yuta, A Star Is Born. He posted that on Twitter. All the comments, awful. If you read all the replies to that, it is just dumbass shit from dumbass people who are like, Tony, you don't get to decide what a star is. We do. You should be worried about this Warner Media deal. Blah, blah, blah,
You don't
blah,
get to
blah.
decide what a star is. What?
Yeah,
What?
like just a bunch of bullshit. And of course the Roman avatars that are like, no, the only star is Roman.
Oh God.
Yeah, and like just a lot of that shit, right? But you don't have to listen to any of that because the thing is, the only thing you have to listen to is them crowds.
Yep.
And crowds these last few weeks have been so behind Wheeler Yuta. And I've even seen people say, well, they're like, how can you trust the AEW crowd? They love everything. But it's like, but you know what?
No, they don't.
The
They
only people, the true, Sammy Guevara,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
the only,
Exactly.
The only people that you, as any wrestling company, should be listening to are the people spending money on the product, because the goal should always be, how do I get them to spend more money?
Somebody in the comments just drove me crazy. Wheeler Yuta can't talk on the mic. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. Did you see what he did last night? What does that matter? What does Mike? You guys forget about this fucking mic work. That does not matter. That's not fucking real. Vince McMahon told you that's the only way a person can be a star. It's not fucking true. Who cares if they can't talk on the mic? He has fucking William Regal talking for him. What is the deal? It doesn't matter. Bryan Danielson can't really talk on the fucking mic. He's the best wrestler of all time.
He can now.
Wait. First
he
off,
can now.
First off, this man, shout out Brian.
But I followed up by saying he's the greatest wrestler of all time. Don't try to throw shit at me. He's the best. He's the man. He doesn't sell matches with fucking promos. He sells matches with fights.
Some of my all-time favorite promos have been for Brian. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
yes, you really like Bryan Danielson. So do I. He's the best of all time.
But I understand what you're saying. We got to stop trying to paint everybody with the same brush.
I hate it.
If you can't talk, then I can discredit
Stone
how
Cold
good
could
you
talk.
are.
The Rock could talk. Triple H could talk. Motherfucker, fuck off. What are you talking
about? Goldberg couldn't talk. Like, that was
not a damn.
But like, that was the thing, was you didn't have to have Bill Goldberg talk. Bill Goldberg just went out there and beat people.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the most over guys in the company does not talk. Orange Cassidy is not a promo guy.
That motherfucker don't say one word. Hella over.
Hook. Look, come on.
Super duper over. Don't say shit.
So the point I was making, though, is that...
Sorry, I went off.
As far as we're concerned, the only people that you really have to listen to are the people who are spending money on your product, because at the end of the day, like, you can't waste your time in pro wrestling on hypotheticals. On like... well, what if we can get these people to spend their money? And it's like, well, like, that's
casual.
That's in the long term, but like in the short term, you can only focus on the people who are spending money now, so that you can get them to spend more money. Exactly. And the thing is, the people in the building are reacting to Wheeler Yuta, and those are the people that are spending their money, the people who are buying the pay-per-views. So like, because I think the same thing with Hangman, where people are like, well, Hangman's falling off, but like, falling off with who? Because he's still getting them reactions in the building, and
big reactions.
And the last pay-per-view was the second most bought pay-per-view, and that was a pay-per-view headlined by Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole. And so that's another one where I look at it like, the people spending money are still showing their support for these things. So
exactly.
But
on top of that, this match, oh my goodness gracious, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I watched it twice. I ran it immediately back to be like, what did I just watch? This is insane. Crazy.
This match was storytelling.
Yes.
At its
100%.
Finest storytelling. And the idea that, because to me, when I think storytelling, I think of when I am simply watching a match and without any words being said between any of the two performers, I fully understand the motivations behind what's happening.
Yes.
That to me is storytelling. And so when I'm watching this,
the Mark Henry promo was perfect too. How Moxley was like, "I'm about to fuck you up in this match," pretty much. You know,
so good. Moxley having his back to him the entire promo, and he didn't even look at him. And then he turned around and told him, "Like, no, I'm gonna get you up out of here."
No, this ain't no game. I'm about to beat you up.
Funny thing was, the first time this match took place at the James L. Knight Center in Miami, it was Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta. Jon Moxley just came in, squashed him, hit him a paradigm shift for 1, 2, 3, left. That was it. Second time it took place, and the funny thing was, all this is incidental, right? Because the second time it took place, match wasn't even supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Brian Kendrick, and then
that's right.
And he ended up getting replaced by Wheeler Yuta, and we had a much more competitive back and forth match that still saw Wheeler Yuta lose. And then the third time around, from jump. The moment Jon Moxley's making his way out the crowd and Wheeler jump starts the match beforehand, before anything happens, where Wheeler Yuta is like, this is not going to go like last time or the time before because I'm getting the jump on this match now. And he got the jump on Jon Moxley. And this was a star-making performance.
Incredible.
In the sense of Moxley just could not figure out how to get Wheeler to stop. Blood is a really effective storytelling tool. When somebody has because I think no matter who it is, if you are how do I put this? If you have everybody knows what blood is. You have to, because you've likely cut something open at some point in your life. Although I think it is funny to think about somebody who's like 40 and like gets their first cut. It's like, what is this? I don't understand.
Blood. What's coming out of my body? It's red.
But I think that that's why I think blood is so effective, because it is something that everybody understands as a sign of trauma or of trouble. And so when somebody's bloody, you recognize that there is a bigger sense of danger happening. And Wheeler Yuta being bloodied by Jon Moxley, I think, was extremely effective here. Moxley doing everything he could. Every single thing that he had that we've seen Jon Moxley beat.
Moxley hit all of his signatures, all of his everything that he has. He threw it at Yuta this match.
Yep, he hit 2 paradigm shifts, including the big paradigm shift, the one that, like, you know, when Moxley he'll do the normal paradigm shift, and then he hits the big
like the
one,
elevated one,
the elevated paradigm shift, just to cement it. That's how he won the AEW World Championship. Was he hit the regular paradigm shift on Jericho, and then he hit the elevated one. And so, like, we've established that's how this guy wins. And if he can't win that way, he could at least win with the choke. None of that kept Wheeler Yuta
Nothing
down.
worked.
And
Yuta kept reversing him, kept knowing what pretty much he was a step ahead of Moxley almost the entire match, before the finish.
Yeah, he had him scouted. He had him studied. None of it was keeping him down. And on top of all of that, Moxley finally just had to choke this man until he couldn't breathe anymore.
That was it.
To finally keep him down. Wheeler looked like $2 million here.
Yuta, that was like the perfect babyface performance. You just saw it. Yuta did it. He did everything right. All of his reversals, everything that he hit, his tributes to Bryan Danielson, like everything was just right on the money. I love this, man. The blood, Yuta firing back after Moxley's knocking him out, and he's just like, bring it. It's just like a perfect way to get someone over, man. Just like beautiful.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling at its finest.
Yeah, I was really happy with this. I thought that Yuta's one of those guys that kind of came out of nowhere in the last couple of weeks. Because I don't think anybody could have anticipated how much the crowd was going to be into Yuta that first Best Friends versus Moxley and Danielson match. But when they were, I feel like there was no turning back. It's like, okay, we just got to do this. We got to fucking do it. And do it till it can't be done anymore. And
Yuta's incredible. Like, if you haven't seen his Iron Man match with Daniel Garcia from the Independents, you have to watch that. This guy, they knew what they had. Like, just put this guy in the ring, and he's gonna give you that performance almost every single time. So this is beautiful, man. Perfect.
I think it was Bowens that was saying that this is a perfect example of why people have to be patient.
Right.
Because when he first got there were people like, "What are they doing with Yuta? He's so good. They gotta push him now." And I feel like, doing a slow burn of everything with Best Friends and Blackpool Combat Club now, I feel like, man, I don't think they could have done this any better with him.
Right. That's funny. On Reddit a couple of days ago, I was laughing really hard because someone on Squared Circle, one of the threads was, does Tony Khan slow burn too much? And I was like, you can't do anything right at this point. If it's slow burn, it's too much. If it's fast, it's too much. Like, you just have to do what you want because fans are going to do what fans are going to say whatever they want.
I think 3 years in, I hope people do finally start to see there is kind of a pattern here in that, that everybody... Like, it's not going to happen immediately for really anybody.
Nope, not at all.
And
like people thought Keith Lee was going to immediately be in. No, they're going to build this, build. All these things are going to be built.
Well, like, look at everybody who is currently at the top. None of it happened immediately for literally anybody there. We're like Jurassic Express. Are you kidding me? They debuted in 2019, and it took them 3 years to get.
They had Jungle Boy at the before AEW became a thing at the pressers to be like, this guy's gonna be a guy. Like, they've been building these people for a long time.
I mean, Britt was at every presser at first.
Right.
Yeah.
It took them over a year to get Britt to where she was as champion. And I mean,
she didn't even win the title till 2 years into the company. So like that was
right.
That's the other thing. At Double or Nothing 3, she won the title. So like,
right, and that's the thing with Red Velvet as well, and why I didn't like how people were going at her. It's like, well, you got to remember, she lost a lot of matches when she wasn't signed like Willow.
Yep.
Let Willow go through the same thing and get signed. You're not even giving it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's how I very much feel about a lot of things. Of like, okay, show us I feel like we've seen over time that this is the pattern. That was a great example you brought up of Red Velvet and Willow, because that's exactly what happened with her. And that's more of what I kind of want to see, of like, okay, just give it time, give everybody the time to develop. No, not necessarily anybody has to just kind of be dead dropped in, and that's how I feel.
Like, Willow's being built right now without us knowing it. The loss to Mercedes, this loss right here, these are all building her to greater heights. It's gonna work out in the end.
Hey, we got some humper chats, starting with Van Twinblade,
the homie.
Yeah, Van Twinblade, never letting you down, especially on these indie cards.
I was at Glory Pro. Shout out to Glory Pro.
Well, that's what he's talking about, because he got us a Glory Pro card, and this is going to see on 4/24. It's going to be Cody Lane, Kenny Alfonso, Dante Martin, and Dadhausen and Grindhouse, which is Davey Vega and Matt Fitchett, AJ Gray, Brody King, Tootie versus,
they are gonna fight
versus Ali Catch, Jake Something versus Minoru Suzuki, David Richards versus Mike Outlaw.
Wow, this is a crazy card, Glory Pro. Jeez Louise, that's insane.
Come on, man. Is Van Twinblade like a Glory Pro bot that just...
He's something, man. Anytime Glory Pro, here comes that Van Twinblade Glory Pro bot.
No, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be fire. That card's insane. I love it.
Yeah, and then also, and had you already? Because I was gonna read your Humper chat from Thursday, but it was kind of the same one. Let's see, because we got this one. No, I think that's it. But either way, let's see. We got Distract. Delude says TJPW's still incomplete show today was very good. Miyu Yamashita versus I'm gonna butcher that name. Yuria Nagano was very much an Ace versus Future Ace vibe. As long as they can stop Stardom from poaching Yuria. Highly recommend the whole show. good tag action, and a solid title defense. Thank you. D-Lo says, hey, fellas, hope all is good. Just listening while I pack to Cancun, so here's some of my Cancun money. Have fun in Cancun.
Hey, man,
Cancun,
have a good trip,
that
bro.
sounds amazing. Yes.
Yeah, have fun.
Take me.
Jennifer says, sending some love to the gents and gratitude for how amazing you each are individually and as a unit. Thank you, Jennifer. I always appreciate that.
Yes, thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate that so much.
This last week has had some great matches with some beautiful people succeeding and getting spotlights. I know it's a cliche to say, but I really think history is going to be really kind to this time period of pro wrestling. I think pretty much coming out of pandemic era wrestling, coming out of the no crowds, I think overall, and I say this even talking WWE, I think history is going to be really kind to this time period of pro wrestling.
Agreed.
I think we're going to look back at a lot of stuff at this time very,
And
very
be
fondly.
like, damn, I can't believe we were locked in that time. Kenny Omega was going insane. Brian Danielson. Like, we're going to be looking back like, wow, we saw so much in those times, you know?
I know. We're going to look back at this time period and be like, what a week this kind of stuff was. Like, that's why I try not to, like, humor a lot of the negativity, because it's like, nah, man, we are having... So I haven't had this much fun watching
that
pro
card
wrestling.
that Van Twinblade just said. That's an amazing card. There's a bunch of those. That happens all the time. We are spoiled with how much great wrestling we see. Honestly,
it is cliche to say that it's a great time to be a wrestling fan, but really, it is a great time to be a wrestling fan. Like, honestly, don't humor anybody whose entire presence is just being negative. Who's just whose entire presence is this sucks, right? Because like. There's such great shit right now that I feel like even the shit that sucks is shit where you gotta really dig deep and go, hey, remember that shit that sucked? Because there's like, case in point, remember Elias versus
Ezekiel.
Yes, but Elias versus old boy who got released.
Oh, you're talking about Gunner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Riker,
Jackson Riker. Remember they had a feud? No, of course you don't. Because there's been plenty of shit.
Forgot about it.
To wipe that from your memory. They wrestled in front of a crowd that did not give a shit about any of that.
We're trying to push old Riker for a little bit there.
Drag my man Elias down with that program. Let's just call it what it is. Drag Elias down.
Like, it is such a great time to be a fan.
It's amazing.
Even the shit that you don't care for, you're gonna forget about.
I just wrote my righteous wrap up for the new PWI and about WrestleMania weekend, and like I need more words than this. I have so much to say, like 1,000 words. What? This is I saw 9 wrestling shows. How do I put 9 wrestling shows? I only covered 1 wrestling show at the end, but you know what I mean? Like, we are spoiled every week. Tonight there's a GCW. Tomorrow GCW's in San Francisco. On Friday there's West Coast Pro Wrestling. It's like there's always something. Next month we're gonna be in Vegas for Double or Nothing. After that is AEW in California. Like, there's just like this. It's crazy.
Yeah, next week we got New Japan here in Chicago. We've got Impact the week after that. It's a lot of wrestling.
Insane.
Yes. Let's see. Got a few more. Storm and Norm says, on a ring made of grandma's plastic. Is talking about the backyard wrestling. On a ring made of grandma's plastic cover couch cushions, I suplexed or body slammed all my little cousins.
I'm saying, don't try this at home.
I played the RKO role and never took a bump. Nah, man. There's probably like, because I remember setting up the camera too.
Yeah.
Where they're like me pedigreeing my little brother.
No, my favorite childhood memory is always when someone wanted to be the Undertaker so they could no-sell everything. Like, no, I'm the Undertaker. You can't hit me. No, that's not how this works. He gets beat up too, you guys.
Yeah. Oh man.
Rest in peace.
I was just I'm thinking about this time. Like, I was like really all about Triple H at one point. To the point of where I don't remember where I found this like fucking croquet mallet, but I would like use it as a sledgehammer.
Bro, those are hard too.
But like, that was my sledgehammer, right?
That's
and I would and wrestling with my brother. That was it. That was what I would use.
Yeah.
That
No,
was
Triple H was the
go-to.
guy, man. 2000, it was crazy.
Yeah, 2000 was that time period. And let's see, we got
I didn't need him trotting out there at the beginning of WrestleMania to put his. I didn't need that. I'm sorry.
I mean, no, he needed his moment. I feel like
he kissed his son on NXT. We saw it. I saw him kiss his son on TV. I saw it already.
They don't count NXT.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's right.
Tommaso Ciampa.
He kissed his son, Will.
Yeah.
No, for the longest, for like years, I've been trying to, because Shawn Michaels' son, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, those are Shawn Michaels' kids. I was always like, who is Triple H's kid? And then Phil said it. It's like, no, it's Tommaso Ciampa. That's his kid.
It's like Ciampa and Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode, yeah, of course. Can't forget Bobby Roode.
WrestleVoice says, love you guys and what you're doing to give the black perspective, a black perspective.
Yes.
Not the.
No. Out here grinding and giving a chance to listen live, so I am supporting. When is my girl Willow getting her contract? She has an intangible that makes me think star every time I see her. Like I said, everybody I've talked to in AEW, and I've talked to a few people about her, they all believe that.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
they clearly like her.
If it's not already there, they're like, yeah, everybody likes her. You heard Eddie Kingston name drop her in a promo just because it's Eddie Kingston,
great.
And that's what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eddie Kingston throwing that monitor at the Jericho squad, man. Oh my God, this guy.
I said on Day After Dynamite, my favorite part about that was that the rest of the show, the monitor wasn't working.
It's all busted up.
Yeah, but like,
and JS like, somebody fix this shit.
Yeah. And it took me a minute to even put together. I'm like, oh, that's the monitor Eddie Kingston threw.
They put it back. That's so funny.
Yeah, Van Twinblade said, which one is this one? That's the one we talked about, the just announced for Glory Pro. See, Pam DeBear says, I love the AEW post show. I never miss watching rather than it being live the next day. Everyone looks genuinely happy to have watched the show, and it makes me feel good inside. Thank you all. Pedro Tack says, happy Grapsody Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great week. Can we talk about Samoa Joe's return?
Yes.
Glad he's back doing what he loves to do. Great match with Max Caster.
Shmoney dance.
Plus hitting that shmoney mid-match killed it for me.
So
that
good.
was amazing.
Perfect.
And let's see, we got some super chats. Pile Driver Finisher says, who wins between Hulk and Iron Man? Whoever writes the story.
The Hulk is destroying it, man. Come on.
We got Shauna. Shauna says, go Tag. And Yuta will be with some of the best talkers like Mox and Regal. I think you're trying to say Reg, right?
That's me. Thank you.
I'm like Tag.
The T and the R are very close.
Yes, they're right next to each other. So that's why that's what made me figure that out. Or I'm like, okay.
It's when I was talking about the promo. Yeah, appreciate that.
So the mic work will come with time. He will be learning from the best.
And even if it doesn't, who cares? What's this mic work? I don't care.
And Brett Lockman says, tell me they gave Yuta a blood-crazed promo after the match. Kind of need it.
But there's a really dope picture someone took of Bryan Danielson putting the belt on Yuta and Regal's in the back smiling. Incredible photo. It's great. You should see it.
Yeah, and if anybody's questioning it, like, oh, well, he just shook his hand. This doesn't mean anything. Yuta absolutely put BCC in his bio.
Yeah, no, Yuta said no. Y'all about to know, bro.
That man took the blood, wrote BCC on his chest.
He said that's gang.
It's official.
Yeah. It's official.
Swerve
like referee whistle, yeah.
Swerve tweeted he got jumped in.
He did, no, straight up. That's it. That's the definition right there. He got jumped in. He was bloody. Moxley was not. That's the guy to jump someone in for sure. Send Moxley. He gonna beat his ass. He do not care.
Alexander said, I was ringside for this match. A sublime ending to a fantastic TV taping.
Lucky son of a gun. Jeez Louise, that man. That was the last match too. Like, how do you how to send some people home? I tell you.
So Sabrina says, I have a real question. Do you think AEW is more of an adult crowd? Some kids watch and are there, but it's not the same as WWE. Do you think that's why so many people like AEW, because it has more of an adult crowd? That's why I like it.
That's why I love it. Yeah, they cater to us. They don't make us feel they don't make us feel dumb for being adult wrestling fans.
I'll say this. I think that, because what's interesting is when I was a kid, especially when I was like 10, I didn't want stuff that was for kids. I think that was what I liked about wrestling in the Attitude Era. It was that I was like, and
I love DCW, so yeah.
I was like, no, I don't want the stuff that's for kids. I want the cool shit. Because you do reach that point, right? I don't know. I feel like when I first started going to AEW shows, first show I went to was All Out in 2019, and it was a very adult crowd, very much so. But every show I've been to since, I feel like I watched the kid presence grow.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
And it's been like, I went to a Dynamite a few months later, and mind you, my son came with me. My son, he loves pro wrestling. I got videos of him when he was a baby talking about, I hate Randy Orton, because it was Randy Orton. He was like,
my guy.
Well, he was like, it was that time where he was ripping Rey Mysterio's mask in 2018, and Billy was like so mad about it.
Same here, Billy.
Like, he was like, I want to go into the TV and beat Randy Orton. I'm gonna show him that video when he's older too. It's funny as hell.
And of course the famous
the
Billy
stuff.
video, Bailey video, you know.
Bailey. Yep. And
I like how you put that under Bailey's Q&A the other day. Bailey's Q&A was hilarious too.
Yeah, it was hilarious. She's excellent. But the way that he found AEW wrestlers to gravitate to, and like Billy like truly gravitated. I still think, because I gotta one day post the videos of my son. I'll take him one day. This kid be doing moonsaults on the couch now. I could never get a backflip. This kid does moonsaults off my couch.
Yeah, spot food. That's my shit.
Yeah.
I love them flips.
And he, because he's got this this giant stuffed bear that he beats the shit out of. And like, I mean, this guy takes everything.
Trying this at home. Shout out to Billy.
The funny thing is though, the first person Billy gravitated to in AEW was Kenny Omega, because Kenny did the coolest moves, regardless of anything else he saw. When Billy beats up this thing, even when Kenny turned heel and Billy was no longer a fan, Billy still hits one-winged angels on this stuffed bear as often as you can see. He hits him with V-triggers. My favorite thing is when Billy's got him on his shoulders and goes, "You can't escape."
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm like,
come on, man.
And this kid, you know, Billy's 8, right? But like, I watched the way he gravitates to certain things. He watches WWE, but I feel like there's more that's appealed to him. My daughter, same deal. Darby like caught her attention. She just loves she loves Darby's presence, right? And that's where it hit me that when I was at All Out, there were a lot of kids at All Out last year, and I compared the two. I was like, All Out in 2019, no kids whatsoever. All Out 2020, lots of kids. There were kids everywhere. There were kids with Darby paint. There were kids with Chris Statlander paint.
Orange Cassidy.
Cassidy, right? The Orange Cassidy kids. We met that kid at Revolution, the one who loved Dante Martin. I feel like anything will appeal to kids.
Right.
That's the thing is
like Dante Martin. He's cool, man. He flies. Like he appeals to kids like no other. He's so cool. Yeah. I thought when Leo was in, I thought that Leo was going to be an easy layup for the kids. You know, he wasn't there for long, but he's a superhero. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, yeah.
Like I think WWE appeals to kids, but I think it really just has to do with WWE's longevity and presence places. Like I think that more parents know what WWE is and give their kids the ability to watch it.
Pretty much.
But like kids that get exposed to AEW love it. And Veda has a group of friends at school that she talks pro wrestling with, which is funny. But also I think this is the place where I think AEW is really slipping up. And here's some free advice, Tony Khan. I'm sure you've heard this a million times. But when I see kids who consume pro wrestling, they don't watch it on TV at all. Like, Veda had this friend who would say, no, Raw's on past my bedtime. I just watch on YouTube. I just watch YouTube clips. And I think that there are a lot of kids who only consume it that way. And so
wrestling comes on at 8 p.m. over and on the West Coast. You know what I mean? A lot of kids can't stay up at 9, 10, 11 o'clock to watch that.
I told you, my kids have never seen the third hour of Raw.
Exactly. Right.
They don't know what happens after the second hour.
I mean, again, lucky for them.
I
wish I could be out before the third hour too.
Because I'm straight up like,
going to bed.
It's bedtime. Like I don't waver on bedtime. That's why they get to finish Dynamite. They get to finish SmackDown. They don't get that last hour of Raw.
You acting like Ethan Page last night. My kid's in bed because I'm a great dad.
Hey, no. And I saw that last night, and I was like, he is right, because Rampage comes on right at the time that my kids listen to bedtime. Y'all don't get to watch it. Y'all don't get to watch. Actually, Rampage is the one I'm willing to slip on because it's Fridays. And they asked me, they're like,
hey, Cuz on there. Come on.
Yeah. And they're like, can we stay up? It's Friday. And I'm like, okay, fine, because it's Friday. But Monday, y'all don't get to. But anyway, so where I'm going with all this is, YouTube. There's a lot of young people who don't even like watching cable TV because they're like, I can't control it. I can't control when I consume it. Who gives a shit what, like, and even if you tell them, but it's not live, they'll be like, who cares?
Don't care.
I don't care about none of that. I want to just watch when I want to watch.
At their own convenience and as many times as they want. Like the cable model doesn't fit for the younger people. They want to. I want to watch this video 50 times right now. I'm about to watch it.
Cable's dead, bro.
I think that AEW has to get on WWE's level in terms of getting on-demand content up there.
Exactly.
Like, if you look at week-to-week clips for YouTube, they do okay, but like the thing that does the best numbers on YouTube is when they upload them full matches. If they put up full match Cena versus Rock, that I believe that match has like an absurd amount of views. And I have to look at this now. Let's see. Full match, 48 million views. Woo! Cena versus Rock on YouTube.
That is a lot of views, boy.
Oh, ready for this though? Full match, Cena and Rock versus R-Truth and Miz, 124 million.
That is a lot of views, my
when
brother.
You drop full matches. If you drop full matches on YouTube, and even Impact is good about that.
Yeah.
Like, if you wait a year and then drop a full match, wait 2 years, drop just the full matches. You know how much? Any of them, like, I feel like
they just posted the FTR and Young Bucks match, though, right? I saw that they did that. They posted the match to YouTube, the full match.
The full match?
Did they?
Yeah, I think so. I just seeing somebody tweeting about that.
Let me see. FTR, Young Bucks, because I was gonna say a good example of that is if there's just there's just half of it.
Oh shit. Okay.
But even still, I feel like if you drop something like Iron Man match, Kenny Omega versus Pac. Right. The match is 2 years ago. You don't really lose much of anything putting that match up right now. You put that up, that's going to do at least 1 million views. And another good example. Remember when they put the entire All Out pay-per-view up on YouTube?
Yep.
The first
I watched that. I watched that personally myself a bunch of times.
I was going to say the first All Out pay-per-view has 2.4 million views on YouTube. Young people consume shit on YouTube. And I feel like that's going to be the best way to attract kids is to get them. That's how Orange Cassidy,
it has to be on YouTube. Yeah.
That's how Orange Cassidy. Yeah. And you know what's funny is that because we've had this discussion about how like people knock Dark because it's on YouTube, right? But like we are sitting here talking about no, young people love YouTube.
Yep.
That is how they get exposed to
pretty much the easiest accessed media there is. Young people love YouTube. That's going to be their first place to go for some videos.
That's how Orange Cassidy got the following he got with kids.
Right.
Was all them YouTube clips.
Yep.
So like that's really it. I think that's what they're gonna have to do.
Go
ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, to answer a question though, I don't feel like it's an adult content. I feel like it's one of those things where AEW knows what it is. I feel like if you don't talk down to your audience, whether it's kids or adults, they're gonna watch it. And I'm not saying that to knock anybody else, including WWE, but I feel like once you make it clear what your content is, people will gravitate to it.
If you're not insulting my intelligence, I'm gonna be happy watching your wrestling show. It's simple. Vince McMahon said it in 1997 and didn't listen to himself, but that's what.
I mean, it's not hard.
Bad Company Bill said, "I just wish they showed Bryan strapping the belt on Yuta after the match. Crazy pop."
That was a good moment.
That's the only thing I don't like about Rampage is Rampage feels really rushed. And
Rampage is like, we're out. We'll see you later. We got one more second of this show.
That whole show feels rushed.
That's why they call it the fastest hour. Like, no, you guys are running through this.
Yeah, but y'all have to like slow down just a little bit.
Just a bit.
Rampage next week is live. Like
might have 3 matches instead of 4 matches. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Figure it out.
Yeah. Alan Mark says the AEW universe is like the Marvel universe. The stories grow organically. The difference is the wrestlers help write the stories.
Right.
Twinblade says, it's my local indie. I got to promo my dudes. Hey,
I love
it. Appreciate that. No, we love it. We
Just
love
like
it.
West Coast Pro, that's going to be on Friday, February 15th. I think the main event is Minoru Suzuki and Mike.
Suzuki is out here.
Yeah, Suzuki is not messing around, bro. He is everywhere.
Man, Murder Grandpa is just like...
He's like, yo, is there a check? I'll pull up, bro.
Cementing his legacy in the U.S.
I love it.
Ryan Sullivan says, on my way to support our friend Kate Hensler make her commentary debut at Excite Wrestling Live on Twitch. So happy for her.
Yeah, shout out to Kate.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out Kate. Kurt Benoit says, Righteous Tej.
That's me.
And Sabrina says, that brings another great point. Do you think Raw should go back to the 2-hour model?
I think they should, but they never will.
No, they won't because...
money.
Because of money. WWE, so basically it's a case of the more hours of television they produce, the more advertising they get in those hours of television.
Yep.
A third hour of Raw is the easiest way of getting more out of less, right? Because they're not doing an extra show. It's literally just extending the show you have and thereby getting more money out of what you're already doing.
Right.
And like that's kind of the reason why Rampage, it's not in their best. Like I know people are like, I want to see Rampage go live in 2 hours. It's not in their best interest to do that because then diminishing returns because then you have to have a whole separate touring schedule. You have to add more dates and those cost money. Whereas if you're just adding on to Dynamite with the same fans that are there, with the same production that's all there, so you didn't pay for any extra staff, any extra anything. You literally just taped another hour of television. That's more money for more content without having to do anything more than run more of a taping. So that's why it's considered the third hour of Dynamite rather than a separate show. I think the second you start thinking of it as a separate show, then you're going to have to start looking at like, okay, how do we add the touring schedule to it? And I don't think we're going to do that.
And that's why they usually the live rampages are attached to like something like a weekend or something,
because like this week's live
worthwhile.
Yeah, this week's live rampage, of course, is attached to Battle of the Belts, because they're taping both at that show. And I think that's exactly why that is.
That means they're going to be AEW on Friday and Saturday next week then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, because we got Battle of the Belts next Saturday.
Right. Sweet.
So, let's talk about topic number 3. Number 3, which is Nash Carter got released.
Yeah.
There's...
Yeesh.
So, Nash Carter getting released is fascinating.
Yes.
Mainly because, for those who were watching the Fightful podcast that was in place of Listing Your Boy, it was with me and Sean, and we got to break that news live. We're literally just sitting there, we're talking, and I think we're talking Ring of Honor, right? And then Sean gets a phone call, and he's like, I got to take this, and mutes. And picks up the phone, and then he comes back and is like, so breaking news, Nash Carter's released. And he's like, I'm gonna confirm this with WWE, and then sends the text and is like, it's confirmed. And so, hey, if you ever wanted to see the news process happen in real time, breaking news, it happened just like that. And then, like I mentioned, I got a text from Sean's source that was just like, hey, sorry for interrupting. And it was like, I appreciate it, because it was breaking news at that moment in time. It was actually kind of a cool moment, but yeah, not a cool moment for everybody involved here, because
it's a touchy subject. I'm like, I don't even know what I really want.
It's a very touchy subject. It's a very touchy subject. The reports are that regardless of anything else that's out there, the thing that got him released was the Nazi photo, the Hitler photo specifically. And so
yeah, it's a. I really feel bad for Wesley and all.
Cut and dry, yeah.
Because Wes is like just in the middle of it, and he doesn't have anything to do with any of the stuff that got him released.
Nothing.
And they just won the tag titles, and now they're vacated. Which, speaking of, like, a lot of those title changes that Stand and Deliver are now don't matter.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Raquel just debuted on SmackDown last night. Like, what was the point of that whole thing with her and Dakota? I didn't.
What was the point of them winning the tag titles?
Yeah, what was that?
And then they were just gonna drop them a few days later. I mean,
Yeah,
same
what?
thing with Braun winning the title at Raw when he just lost to Dolph at the pay-per-views. Weird. I don't know. But yeah, I feel really bad for Wesley.
I feel like it's another one of those cases where like the right hand isn't talking to the left hand.
Yeah.
And they're just like doing shit over here, but like.
And they're like, "Oh, we're actually doing something different over here, though. What happened?" Yeah, I can see that.
It's
for sure.
it's weird. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what this means for Wesley now. I don't know if they're gonna try and repackage him. I just feel bad. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Nash. I don't know. And I mean,
it is interesting that WWE didn't wait. And
that's what I thought was the most.
Yeah, they don't usually play with Nazi stuff or anti.
But it's crazy because we've seen like say stuff with Velveteen Dream or shit with Austin Theory or shit with Matt Riddle. I saw all that on the timeline, and that's not the same.
That's why I was saying once it gets into anti-Semitism territory, they usually don't play with it. They usually cut that out right away.
Yeah, I feel it.
Because that's a lot of people thought it was some of the domestic stuff that was mentioned, but it really was just the photo. It was like, no, we don't play with that.
They don't play.
You're out. And yeah, the NXT Tag Titles. But like I said, they've had situations where people like were in hot water, and it was like, okay, they're released. Like we're gonna cut them, but we at least need to make it to TV next week to like.
Yeah, sometimes they've kept person just to have them drop it. This time they were like, nah, he's out. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah. Because I feel like they've only really done that with suspensions. Because I was thinking about Roman's suspension, where like they knew that he was suspended. Like
they've done that. They did that a few times with Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton too. I think.
Yeah. Where Jeff Hardy, it was like, okay, he's suspended, but he's also Intercontinental Champion, so we need to drop the title tonight. And with Roman Reigns, he was WWE Champion. He's suspended. We need him to drop the title at this pay-per-view, and then we'll announce his suspension the next day.
Right. That Luther Reigns threw a wrench in everything.
Man.
No, but remember he actually did pop the wellness in 2016.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Roman was WWE champion, and really that ended up working out better for Jon Moxley than anybody because the original creative plan was that Kevin Owens was going to win the money.
I'm thinking about the report that came out where Reigns was on that list and everybody thought it was Roman and it was Luther.
Money in the Bank was the case of Kevin Owens was going to win it, and then Roman popped wellness because Roman was just going to retain the title that night.
Right.
And that ended up working out for everybody. So then it was like, okay, Seth Rollins gets to beat Roman clean, and now Moxley is going to then come in and cash in on Seth, and he's going to do it all. And then Moxley talked about in his book where he said that all resulted in him working the largest schedule he ever had to work because they called him and were like, hey, so because he was working the B side of the house shows because there wasn't a Raw SmackDown split at the time, so it was like you just had the B house shows and the A house shows. And Moxley was headlining the B ones, and they were like, actually, we need you to headline the A ones as well. And that's where it came from, that Moxley was like the hardest working dude of that time period.
And they burned his ass out.
They did, because he was working all them house shows. He had more matches than anybody. He said in that promo with Cena, he was like, check the receipts. Nobody worked more matches than me in the last year ever in the history of this company because he was like working both sets of house shows. Shout out Jon Moxley. Anyway, though, this is just it's really interesting. I took a look at the NXT tag division to see kind of what they've even got now.
People want the Creed brothers, it seems to be.
Yeah, sounds like it. Because Imperium's not there anymore.
Nope, broke them up.
Are they broken up though? Or
I mean, the homie's gone. They're both on SmackDown now.
Oh,
yeah. The homie Fabian Eichner is just in the the cloud now. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That guy can work, bro. Every time,
really good. Too.
Yeah, every time they had those Imperium tag matches, he was like a standout. Like he could really go.
Eichner's been great for a while. He was great when he had that little push in the CWC, and then he had like the run with NXT. He's great.
Yeah, he's fire.
You guys see the CM Punk tweet? I love stuff like this. He said, "Hey, somebody wrestle me Wednesday," and then he just like tagged all these names.
Dude, they're loading this show up. This New Orleans show.
He said, Dax, Cash, Wheeler Yuta, Penta, Kyle O'Reilly, Tony Nese, Dustin Rhodes.
Oh my
Brian
God,
Danielson,
this guy. He added Brian Danielson.
He checked Jonathan Gresham.
Brian Danielson.
This guy.
He said CM Punk tagged all these names. It was like,
oh my God, why you playing? Why you playing?
On,
this show's gonna be crazy. This show's gonna be fucking crazy.
And then he said basically anyone but Eddie Kingston.
King, damn.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, this Dynamite's gonna be crazy.
Course, that is making me feel like, hey, I'm gonna be there Wednesday. Give me all of it. Because I see that like they're really trying to make the show special for that crowd, because this is the hard thing about. And I recognize my connection probably went bad. The hard thing about
Gresham said, "Okay, y'all are lying. Don't be playing with me. Leave me alone, you guys. I don't have time for this. Please look into Gresham's thing, because this is crazy.
These guys are all these wrestlers are.
Everybody's like me. Yeah. Please."
So
that's amazing.
Because but we've seen it though. When you have to do a live Rampage, that means that the Dynamite doesn't get the Rampage attached to it. So you have to kind of make up to the crowd what Rampage is or what Dynamite's going to be. You have to give them a full show still the same way. Because like I've talked to people who are going to this New Orleans show who are like, wait, we ain't getting Rampage. Like. Y'all are shortchanging us. You're charging us the same amount that you charge for a Dynamite Rampage show.
Tony Khan said, "Watch this, Brody. I got you good."
Y'all getting Joe versus Suzuki. Cut it out.
Yeah, come on, bro. You cannot complain. That's it. That's the main event. Everything else is extra. And on top of that, Swerve and Keith Lee against Ricky Starks and Hobbs. Like, it's lit out here, bro. That's going to be an amazing show.
Yes. Just great shit.
Thanks, Tony. What's that tweet that he tweeted? What did he say? I'm going crazy today. Whatever he said, I loved it. It was so funny.
Speaking of which, by the way, that brings us to our number 2 story. AEW is on New Japan World.
Yeah, this New Japan news is just coming in rapidly. Like he was hooking up them New Japan deals like crazy. He went for, I feel like as soon as he went for the ROH deal, he was like, all right, now on to making it better with New Japan. And every announcement with New Japan has been awesome. This is incredible for AEW.
Yeah, I feel like he's been pretty much dipping his toe in more and more, bringing in more and more New Japan guys. Whether that be Kenta or Jay White or, bringing in Rocky
Suzuki.
And I feel like once Rocky started working those shows, that was the hint that, all right, the
when Rocky pulled up, right.
Yeah, so and then when he did the scrum over the weekend for Ring of Honor, he mentioned New Japan a lot. I was like, yeah, I figure that partnership is nice and healthy at this point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, then this is the next week's sign.
It's got me thinking a lot, by the way, about the when the news came out about a year ago that Nick Khan and WWE were in talks with New Japan.
He
went
Which
on Twitter.
I never believed.
Well, he went on Twitter, cut that promo. And people were like, this seems ill-advised, and I was like, I don't know if it's ill-advised. It all depends on how confident he is in the relationship with New Japan,
right? And
he seems pretty confident in it, and hindsight being 2020 did work out, because it was like, I think that would have looked really bad if he had said all of that, and then they did get in a partnership with WWE.
I think he knew, though.
I think he knew.
I think he knew. I was like, he wouldn't have done any of that without the confidence.
No way.
Yeah, it would have. It felt like one of those things where you saw somebody commenting on an Instagram picture, acting like they were cool with somebody, and you're on the phone with that person, like, that's your man.
You like,
and they were like, nah, I ain't rocking with dude.
Are
like
you
that.
sure? Like, because I just talked to the homie about 5 minutes ago, and he said something different.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, no, I thought So
Wrong
like,
con.
one of the things that was mentioned in all of this was that, because it was mentioned last week during the press scrum. One of the things that was mentioned was how far this relationship has come with New Japan. Because when AEW first launched, like the whole term Forbidden Door, where that term comes from is the idea that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks all left New Japan at the time where they were the biggest draws in the company. And New Japan was not happy about this. So as far as they were concerned, New Japan was like, fuck AEW. AEW ain't shit. We're not dealing with AEW. These guys abandoned us. Our top stars, our biggest money makers abandoned us to go make another company. Not dealing with AEW.
Right.
And so the Forbidden Door was, would there ever be a relationship between AEW and New Japan?
Right. It started with the Tanahashi promo, correct? Where
yes.
he was saying, I want to open the Forbidden Door.
Yes. And that's the Forbidden Door. So that's why like it's kind of a misuse of that term if you're using it to describe anything but New Japan and AEW.
Right.
Because that's the Forbidden Door.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, New Japan has done a whole lot with AEW since then. They kind of still haven't really done much with Kenny and the Bucks. I still feel like it is still.
There's still probably a little bit of beef, I would think. So.
A little bit.
I wouldn't. I'm not mad at it either. That was, I mean, the Kenny and the Bucks had to do what they had to do, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, I do feel like we're getting closer to getting a big super card in America.
Yeah,
with New Japan and
agreed,
and AEW or New Japan and Ring of Honor. Like I feel like if they're gonna run another WrestleMania weekend show, I could definitely see it being a New Japan Ring of Honor super card show.
I could see it. Yeah, I think this year we could potentially get something of that. Maybe not on the grandest stage, but like some kind of crossover event eventually here in this year. So, this is New Japan working with AEW is huge news for everybody. I know there's hella wrestlers in New Japan that are excited about this deal. So it's great for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out like what's going on with my connection and why it's like so bad at the moment. And so I'm like texting other members of my household. I'm like, is somebody on a video call or some shit? Because like,
turn it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn this shit.
No, Billy's up there.
It's like, is somebody using all the hot water right now? Like, that's
man, yep.
No, Billy's up there FaceTiming with all his friends right now.
Yeah, for real. It's Saturday.
Yes. No, I mean, I think this is really cool, and I think that mainly because, like, from what I was reading yesterday, there is still a lot of Japanese interest in one, like Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is still that guy.
He's the guy.
Kenny, man,
over
he
there.
made his mark over there.
He did, and so there is a lot of seeking out of the AEW product from Japanese wrestling fans.
Yeah, I feel like it's only a matter of time before we get Omega Okada 5.
Yeah,
right.
It's coming.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they do it at Wrestle Kingdom again. Like,
I think it's happening in America. I feel like that has always been a big push to bring it to America because I feel like people that don't get the appeal of Omega didn't see those matches.
Yes, agreed.
And so I feel like there's been a push for a long time to bring that here.
Yes.
I can see it. That'd be crazy.
I'm gonna refresh right quick just so this does something. So give me 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Boom.
Will Washington, he's gone. That was fast, bro.
Oh no. But no, man. If
2 seconds.
He's back.
I'm super excited for more New Japan in America. I mean, New Japan is in Chicago next week, and
you're going to the show.
I couldn't be any more excited. So
if we have a show tomorrow, actually in LA too. No, tomorrow Sunday. They're doing it, man. New Japan Strong has been some hot stuff. Daniel Garcia's out there. Freddie Ahai's out there killing it. Like Chris Bay. Oh my God, so many people. Yeah, they're. It's
don't sleep on Yehai, guys.
Please do not sleep on Yehai. He still needs something. He needs an opportunity. He needs something. He's an incredible talent. He has been an incredible talent for more years than I could even imagine. So please watch New Japan Strong. Please support Freddie Ahai wherever he is. One of my favorite wrestlers in the world. And yeah.
All right. So finally, number one topic of
here we go. Here he is. I'm burnt out. I'm over it.
Cody, listen, man. Heard there was some headlines out there that he might be coming to WWE, man. Looks like he's home, man. Said he was back, man. He's back.
It has been a wild, wild week. Cody Rhodes. We talked last week about his debut at WrestleMania.
The bro hit the ground running. I'll tell you that.
Hit the ground running. He is, without question, number one babyface in WWE. I don't think there's anybody above him right now.
Yeah, I would argue this is the greatest rollout in wrestling I've seen in a long time.
This is a hell of a rollout.
Been everywhere.
The bro had a hell of a rollout.
He has. And there's no denying it was a good move for him. There's no denying this worked out in every way.
This is perfect.
But I was listening to some of the stuff he was saying, and I thought, like, a lot of people are down on him. I know a lot of AEW loyalists are like, fuck Cody Rhodes. And if you feel that way, you feel that way. Yeah. I will say, I was looking at a conversation with somebody, and I'm not going to credit who this was at the moment without their permission. But I had a conversation with somebody 2 years ago who said, and I can't believe they called this word for fucking word. They said, I see, and this was at the beginning of 2020. This is January 2020. They said, I'm seeing some rifts with Cody and the Bucks and Kenny, and it wouldn't surprise me if Cody ended up back in WWE while these guys stay here. And I messaged him yesterday, and I was like, how did you get this?
Who was this guy?
I was like, how did you get that word for fucking word? How did you get it, like, moment for moment? How did you get that? And but it was good. It was really good.
I know how.
But I would credit that person with their permission. But either way.
I've told you guys before AEW even started, I heard about rifts between all the EVPs. So I'm surprised. Anytime I hear news out loud, I'm like, it's hard to. At the end of the day, these are pro wrestlers. That's all you have to remember. And pro wrestlers be on some shit.
My thought was that it was always just going to operate in the way it's kind of operated of like the two factions, where you can tell who's like Cody people and who was who was with everybody else. But like, nah, man, But one of the things Cody mentioned, and why I don't necessarily feel like he's totally full of shit, one of the things he mentioned was he was like, I couldn't be the AEW gatekeeper forever. And I was like, damn, I feel that. I actually do kind of feel that. Yeah. Because the way he was talking was like, that was the deal, was everybody making a new debut comes in, feuds with Cody for a little bit, and then moves on to do something else. And he's like, I can't do that forever.
Brandy told him in that in Road to the Top, man, aren't you tired of breaking your back for everybody else?
Yeah, and you know what's funny is, as I was mentally like, for those like 3 months of Swerve's free agency, as I'm like mentally fantasy booking it, I'm like, okay, so he could like come in, face Cody, and because like that's where your brain goes. I'm like,
no, Cody said, I'm not gonna be there.
Everybody, yeah, but like. That was my thought, because my thought at the time was everybody comes in and faces Cody. This is what you do. You come in, you face Cody, and you go do something else. Lance Archer came in, face Cody. That's the move. And Malachi came in, face Cody. But in hindsight, I can recognize how Cody was like,
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy forever. And like, but also, what's the other spot for him? And so I could see that. I saw when he said that, I got that exactly. I think the hard thing. Go ahead.
Have you guys noticed what I noticed? And at one point, when all of the talk of Punk coming, I think that was All Out 2019, and it really ramped up because he did StarCast that weekend, and that was when it ramped up, and that's when that quote came out that Cody said that he talked to him, and he didn't want to acquiesce. And at the time, he was saying, I think he's going to go back. And it was just, I thought it was funny at that time that he put that on Punk right away. He's going to go back. And then when you watch fast forward, and he gave that quote of, I wrestled everybody I wanted to wrestle there. And I was like, What he said in that promo about, I've done everything that Punk said he would do for you guys.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, like, when you saw there's plenty of interactions like at post show stuff. Like him and Punk seem to be getting along just fine. So
I don't think there was beef, but there are just those things that I was just looking at like
They look a little bit of a way. Yeah.
yeah,
it looks a little funny in the light.
I it is funny. He said I faced everyone I wanted to face there. And I went through the roster because a lot of people were naming people that were like, wait, but you didn't face such and such and this person and this person. And I looked at the roster and I thought, actually, if you're just taking it as I just want to wrestle them one time, there's only like 3 people on the roster total that Cody never, ever wrestled. And
I was going to say, a lot of the guys he's wrestled, like Punk, he's wrestled all these guys before.
Yeah, he's wrestled Punk, but
he did. He has wrestled Punk. He has wrestled, like, the only people were
Brian.
like Sting and Hangman. And that's like kind of it. I was like going through. I'm like, man, he even wrestled like Dante Martin in that one match. Yep. Like he did at some point get to tie it up. He got to lock it up with practically everybody on that show. At one point or another, he didn't really get that feuds with everybody. I think that's what people wanted, was like they wanted some kind of a major feud, because I saw people going, he didn't face Kenny, and it's like he had like multiple feuds with Kenny. Yeah, it didn't happen in AEW.
He had that long feud with Kenny with New Japan. So.
Right.
Yeah, but that happened. As a matter of fact, the arena that they're going to be in New Orleans this Wednesday is the arena that Kenny faced Cody at Supercard of Honor the WrestleMania weekend before WrestleMania 34. Like these guys have done this. They've like, granted, if you don't follow the indies, you don't follow New Japan, you don't follow Ring of Honor, you maybe never got to see it on a large scale, but it happened.
Yeah, it's fine. We got it. I don't think we need it. Yeah, Cody did what he needed to do. And people being like, his first feud is with The Miz. Put some respect on the fucking Miz's name, you guys. Miz.
That's a weird thing to try and dunk on him for.
Yeah.
His first match back was at WrestleMania. What do you mean?
And like, The Miz is his friend too. Like, why are y'all? What? It's weird.
It's not even his first feud. It's his first match. Like, he could.
Yeah, it's just a Raw match.
It's a Raw match. Like,
but that's what they don't like about it. They think he needs to have bigger.
I think everything he does, people are going to over criticize it.
And if they didn't think he's not going to be on Raw, that's crazy. Put Cody Rhodes on Raw. It's fucking Cody Rhodes. Have him wrestle. What are you talking about?
Raw needs him the most. Raw needs a main eventer. And
yes.
Right now, he's the hottest babyface they have. It sounds crazy, but it is.
Yeah. And he's got to beat people, and he's gonna beat people, and he's gonna beat the Miz. Like, you know where this is going.
Of course.
Hey, so this promo, I said watch the promo. Now, backstory on this. I watched you guys say you didn't like the promo in our group chat, and I hadn't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. And so I watched it, and I kind of liked it. I'm sorry. I kind of liked it.
I have to clarify, because I never said publicly I didn't like it. But...
Oh, man, did I snitch? I'm sorry.
No.
What I did tweet was that if something wasn't connecting, and I still feel that way, and that was really what I felt about it. That it felt to me like, in a couple of ways, it felt like a step backwards for Cody, but also it's because I've been watching Cody, because I've seen all of Cody's career, and so, I thought we did all this like literally last year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we did this already.
I felt like we just did all of this, and on top of that, Cody. Like, I thought we were starting to go someplace interesting in AEW, where, like, remember he was kind of hinting at Sammy Guevara that, I'm going to beat you, take your title. And he started to go through one ramp and then turn around, went through the other. And it's like, oh, is he, are we finally getting the heel turn? Yeah. And Cody said, fuck y'all, I'm not doing a heel turn. I'm going to do exactly what I wanted to do just over here.
Right.
And, like, I felt like I've seen this. I've seen this promo from Cody. I've seen him talk up. And it's not to discount his relationship with his father. Obviously, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, is his father, and living up to his father is going to mean a lot to him, and it does mean a lot to him. Never going to take that away from Cody.
Yeah.
I just felt like I've seen this. And then the other thing was, I don't know, something was off about that post-Raw or post-Mania crowd. Because SmackDown didn't feel that way last night.
No, SmackDown felt like a post-WrestleMania show last night.
Yeah, but for what? Something, maybe the crowd was just tired because there was a lot of those same people who probably went to 100 shows. But, like, something was off with that crowd on Monday. And so it didn't feel like a lot of what he was saying was connecting in a way. But...
Yeah, I think it felt like a very AEW promo on WWE programming. It was weird almost, and I was sitting watching it like this just. And I do agree he's done a lot of this territory before as a character, but just watching it there, it just was like, okay. But I didn't dislike the promo, and the reason I did like the promo is because I feel like his motives were very clear for being back. You can go into it and go, all right, well, some of this is capped because that's not exactly why you're there, but in character, it makes perfect sense for him to say, look, I have unfinished business here. My dad never won a WWE championship. I'm here to do what he didn't do. I'm here to reclaim this. And especially now that he has his name back, I'm here as a Rhodes to reclaim this. And so I thought that was good. I thought that he put more importance on being WWE champion again, which the company desperately needs after this winner-take-all fiasco. So I enjoyed the promo for what it was. Now, can I see people looking at it that way, like, this Cody guy? Yeah, but at the same time, I'm here for the drama as well. I'm here for the messiness. I enjoy it.
I mean, so there's another thing. I mentioned this in my me and Sean's podcast last week, where I said that it's been really funny to me to watch Dynamite. And when you watch Dynamite, you look at the stage and how much of this stage was built for Cody's entrance. You got, you have all these people just walking by this little cutout in the stage where somebody's supposed to rise up, and nobody's used that since Cody left. And then, of course, they have the chandelier that lifts up and down, but Cody ain't there no more, so it ain't doing that. How much of that stage was built for Cody's entrance, right?
They had my man. They had my man like this. Coming.
That's where I was going with this, right?
Yeah.
But then you got the Raw stage that isn't built for Cody's entrance.
No.
And at all, they got this man coming out of a little box with a ramp attached to it, and like I thought that was the silliest. I had the silliest looking shit of that ain't gonna work. Like it's not. You have to retool the Raw stage because the Raw stage is flat, so there's no coming out of a floor. But also you can't just like bring a box out and just have this man lift out of this fucking box.
Just his head at the bottom of the screen. That was hilarious.
No, you gotta get the old Rey Mysterio entrance. Who's that jumping off the sky?
That man went.
Bro, we saw your head already. I saw the blonde. I know you're right there.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Yeah, no.
Great meme. Thanks, Cody.
The entrance does not work on this stage in any way, shape, or form. It looks real bad. The song still works. The pyro works.
Yeah, everything works.
But I thought him rising up out of a box on the stage looked awful. But that said, I think it seems like there is a mission for him. It seems like the mission is the WWE or Universal Championship. It seems like the mission is for him to become champion, and I like that they set a goal for him, and I want to see him get there. Somebody in the chat said that wasn't a box. Well, it was a box-like structure.
Yes, it was.
Shout out Wrestlemania last year. But
there's a limit behind that rock.
Thank you. Man, I love Phil Simpsons references. I feel like that's the thing me and him are always gonna find.
I'm always like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
But my only concern is WWE. I need you to listen to me.
You talk to Tony Khan, now you're talking to Vince. I love it here.
I'm pleading with you. If your mission is to get Cody to the WWE Championship, great. If your way to get him there is Money in the Bank, please think of something else.
Don't do it.
Think of the children?
Go for literally anything else.
Don't do it.
Because if you have Cody...
Don't do it, you guys.
Cash in on somebody who's down.
And
then come out the next night talking about, I did this for my dad.
No, you can't.
I finally did it. Doesn't count.
Don't do it.
Think of something else.
Think
of literally anything else.
Don't do it. Yes. Bad idea.
We'll all go through it.
Such a bad idea.
You have brought this back around to headlines.
Yes, headlines is coming back, baby. You're not going to forget about it.
But
yes,
I'm
don't do
serious,
that.
though.
Do not give
Please,
him that box, bro.
Do not Money in the Bank this. You can't Money in the Bank it. It's not going to work. It's not the same. There is the sense of accomplishment with fans. I think last year is the biggest example of Money in the Bank being done as you could get. Nikki, I tried to tell people when she won that, and people are like, yeah, she got her moment. And I'm like, that wasn't a moment. You literally just plopped the belt on her, and then took it right off. And then Big E, even he got a match out of it, but Money in the Bank to me, I think now is at the point of where it's a detriment to people's title wins. That it feels like they didn't really win it.
If you're a babyface, I think it works for heels still.
Right.
But even still, I've been there, done that. Like, we did that, like, I don't know. I feel like it almost kind of ruins the uniqueness of what Edge pulled off because, like, that's what gave Edge his nickname, the Ultimate Opportunist. He was the guy who did it. But, like, I think Money in the Bank is dead. And I hate that we know what's happening because they're actually doing it in Las Vegas at a stadium this year, at Allegiant Stadium. No more Money in the Bank, please. Please, please,
I mean,
Cody,
I still like Money in the Bank.
I don't like it as a...
I think it can work. I think it can work. They just don't do it the way that it works. That's pretty much what
to me, it's like the uniqueness of somebody winning a championship without competing in a match needs to be a rarity, not a once-a-year occurrence. And the fact that it keeps occurring, like now, like think about how blown our minds were in 2006 when Edge did that. Because it was like, damn, no one's ever just like come in with no scheduled match and then beat the champion and become champion. Now we've seen it literally 20 times. And and I just...
Yeah, I am afraid that... I'm afraid that they're going to do what they always do with Roman and have him not try to take a real loss. They're going to have him lose one of those titles in a weird, like a shenanigans way.
Boring.
And instead of just having someone beat him clean and get that rub. And I feel like that's part of what hurt Big E's title reign because they wouldn't just give him the win. Yeah, I just feel like that's what's going to happen. I feel like they, to quote Punk, they're going to keep Roman strong. I'm sorry that people probably are going to be mad at me for saying that because they hated that Punk said it, but that's what they've been doing.
I mean, we've seen it for 695 days or however long he's been champion. So,
and of course, Corey M says it was the exact same promo he's cut countless times in AEW. That's what I hated about it. And the thing is, if you don't watch AEW, it was new to you. So, like, I get what people liked about it. Hey, everybody, thank you for coming through for another edition of Grapsody. This was kind of our first normal edition in a few weeks. So
yeah, it is.
It was nice to be back in our normal spots. Come back next week. Same bad time, same bad station. We'll be here at youtube.com/Fightful at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Thank you for being a part of Grapsody. I'm Will Washington. He's Righteous Reg right down there. There we go. And he is Philip Lindsey.
Media Man.
The Media Man. We will see you next time. Have an absolutely wonderful afternoon. Peace.